You're good.
Huh. Apparently everyone's layout's been changing up a little bit. Odd.
Yes, hello, Seb.
Hi, Seb.
Hi, Seb.
Don't mind me just petting my little squid friend over here.
Oh, you have one too?
Yeah, I got it as a Christmas gift.
Mm.
What's funny is that I got one for my mother too, and they were both stocking stuffers.
Yep, here we are, day night.
Yeah, that'll be that Thursday day night. Then we'll get back to RCS.
I've got mine right here, and he is very squishy.
Very much so, yes. He's happy right now. He was kind of angry when I was during my sick phase for the past couple weeks. But he's happy.
Mine's been set to dead for the last like few days, because I got the happy and dead one. And yeah, as of late, he's been stuck on the dead one because I've been dead.
Boop. All right.
Go!
All right. It's been a long time since we've done anything with story stuff with this. Well, main story stuff, I should say. It's been a moment. But here we are. We're finally getting back to doing main story stuff for FGO. Lost about 4 time, everybody. How many years? It hasn't been that long. It's been long, but not that long, Seb. Jeez.
It's been 16 years.
It's been 3,000 years.
10,000 years.
We'll give you such a crick in the neck. Great way to start. Hey, Walden.
Hello, Sir Walden.
All right. Let me go ahead and give everybody visuals real fast. Actually, why are you over here? I need to put you over this way. There we are. And we're gonna turn off the lo-fi for a second so we can get the main game audio in. Before we do anything, though, I do want to. Oh, Jesus Christ! What is with the audio? Oh God.
Okay.
That is buggy as all hell.
Why? Okay.
Fuck you. That's why.
Okay.
Fuck you, Baltimore.
Okay. Real quick. Real quick. I might need to reboot this because apparently it's being a butt right now. So while that's going on, let me go ahead and put the lo-fi back on. Hi, how's it going?
Well, it wouldn't be one of our streams without some sort of technical difficulties, right?
Indeed, I can, Seb.
Oh, do you want to tell them, or do you want to just kind of?
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Fair enough.
But I have finally moved in to my new house, which, thank God, has so much better internet. And I can be loud and I can cuss. So those are the two big things.
Okay, let me see if it's still like acting up. Survey says, please don't be. Oh, okay, thank God.
Good.
All right. Oh, don't worry now. You'll probably get you'll probably hear more of it later. Anyway, before I do anything else, I do want to at least make an attempt. We have like, look at how many quartz we have saved up in tickets.
We have a few tickets.
I still want to save for whenever Roman comes out, but I do want to see if I can get a certain somebody over here, if possible.
Being obviously.
Yeah, clearly I wanted a copy of Fion, a Fred over here.
But what about the Prezi King?
He has story locked.
And Tesla's there too. Tesla's a strong archer.
I'll throw a couple tickets on either of them just to see what happens. Let's start with Nick. Let's start with Tesla real quick, just to see if I can get something out of this.
First ticket, calling it now. It's gonna be the Press King.
Oh, that I'd be for it. No, it's a C. Ah, Karia, why? Go away. Yeah, I'm not gonna use quartz quite yet. I'm still waiting for whenever a room pops up. Reality marble.
That's reality marble.
It's a servant. There we are. Let's see. Favor. Probably Caesar. Indeed it is!
Hi, Caesar.
How do I know these things?
Tesla's, I mean, like... again,
Tesla's alright.
really
He's not...
good.
I mean, if I have him, I can make more of a Nick, what the Nick is cooking joke, so there is that.
Oh, hi, Shindy.
Certain box that's released. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that is true. I got no chance. Talk about AC.
Yes, we need to talk about the gloriousness that is alternating current. No,
Hello,
it's not
Mick.
Clown. Hi, Clown.
Berserker. Oh my god! Oh, hi, Brocky. I didn't realize it was gonna transform.
There was delay, so that's what.
Mush!
On it.
What have you done? Your props!
Oh shit, you're right.
What have you done?
I didn't think of it in that context.
That's perfect. For clarification, we got some props for tonight, and Mush grabbed 2 bananas.
Well, Ibaraki wanted one, probably needed one anyway. We're trying to get her to eat healthy. Oh,
That's pretty funny. Oh, hey, Roxas.
loading.
Gold.
rings.
Come on, Prezi King. Prezi King. Prezi King.
Prezi King.
Hey!
There he is! Well, at least I know I'm free. This guy's...
キャスタートーマス・アルバ・エジソンである顔のことは気にするなこれはアメリカの象徴である
Yeah. You know, it's gonna be interesting because I actually never got a copy of this in before, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he works.
It's pretty good.
He's a very interesting support caster from what I've seen, especially when he gets his upgrade from Morph.
Clear, can I do it? Oh yeah, that's his interlude.
Yeah, we'll do that eventually, but not right now. All right, that's enough. That's throwing tickets around for now.
Yeah. We got a king.
We got another banana, and we got a king. Actually, I'm gonna go get that MP level
yeah,
done real fast.
The gay for Edison again. True.
Oh yeah, we've seen the account. I think we have them. I have it on here, don't we?
Pretty sure we do.
Where is Ibaraki even at? There you are, MP2. Alright. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start up Lost Bell 4, shall we?
Finally, let's do this.
I believe we're gonna be opening this up with me at the moment. On December 31st, 2019, the entirety of human history was erased in a single strike. Every trace of civilization was wiped out, and in its place, the Earth was left a bleached wasteland. No one knew why or how it was done. All that was clear is that humanity had been utterly defeated. No, it's worse than that. We never even had a chance to fight back. Our destroyer was known as the Foreign God, a being from a distant star wielding unfathomable power. Humanity. We have a message for all of humanity. This planet will soon be reborn as an old, brand new world. Human civilization was a mistake. The path of our growth was incorrect. And so I have made my decision. I will revolt against all of human history. Proper human history. We are about to fill this world with inhuman mystic secrets. We will restore the Age of Gods. To that end, the gods have descended from a far-off galaxy, and in their wisdom, they have used 7 seas to select new leaders. These leaders will remake this planet as they see fit, and the one who reigns supreme shall be given the right to renew the world itself. The life forms from proper human history will not be permitted to take part in this war, or even view it from the sidelines. Trees of creation have sprung up all across the land. Now, all of old humanity's endeavors will be set aside, frozen. My name is Woodime, Kushtaria Woodime. On behalf of the 7 cryptors, I have a message for those of you who escaped from Chaldea. No. Rather, I have a message for the scat few remnants of human history, of the human race. We will be the inheritors of the planet's history. One second. Pardon me. Cryptors. The 7 masters of the old Chaldea who were supposed to save the world. David Semvoid, Ophelia Farsalone, Beryl Gut, Haddock Zalumpus, Akuta Hinako, Scandinavia Peperoncino, and their supposed leader, the foremost disciple of Chaldea's first director, Kushtaria Woodime. No one had even been certain they were still alive, but no sooner had they awoken than they turned on the world they had been meant to protect. Chosen by the foreign god, the 7 cryptors were entrusted with caring for the Trees of Emptiness, the enormous trees that appeared around the world after its scorning. Each Tree of Emptiness was followed by a Lost Belt, a hypothetical history that had been pruned from the chronicle of humanity. There was the Russian Lost Belt, where humans had fused with beasts in order to survive in an ultra-cold environment. There was the Scandinavian Lost Belt, where Ragnarok gone awry had robbed the world of all possible future. Any all possible futures. And then there was the Chinese Lost Belt, where a single ruler who achieved immortality carried the rest of mankind on their shoulders. These and other Lost Belts were to grow their territory, with the one emerging triumphant becoming Earth's official history. As far as the cryptors were concerned, their only enemy, or rather competition, was the other cryptors competing to establish their Lost Belt's dominance. The few remnants of old humanity, Chaldea, were no more than a tiny bump in their road. Before the world was wiped clean, the cryptors had mounted an attack on the Chaldea Security Organization's headquarters, and destroyed them. Chaldea's was frozen solid, and ray-shifting, the only possible mean by which humanity could have prevented the Great Reset, was lost. But though many lives were lost, and the survivors were forced to make a desperate retreat, the last master of Chaldea still lived. Thanks to the Shadow Border, the all-terrain void transporter that had been developed in secret, and its cross-dimensional zero-sail traversal method, the survivors successfully escaped into void space. Having evaded the Great Reset, they emerged in the Russian Lost Belt a few months later, in April of 2020. They went on to defeat Kadok Zenlimpus, the cryptor assigned to the Russian Lost Belts, overthrow the Lost Belt's king, Ivan the Terrible, and cut down its Tree of Emptiness. Then, after another battle in the Scandinavian Lost Belt, they arrived at the Wandering Sea, a workshop that was home to the only other survivors of humanity. Now, they have gained a new ally in Sion Eltnam, an alchemist from the Alice Institute left in charge of the Wandering Sea. and are setting out on the next step of their quest to defeat the Cryptors and the Foreign God. So, how's that recap? Did I do a good job jogging your memories? Huh? I mean, it's been almost a year since you guys last did this, right? Right?
Like it was yesterday.
Yes, you glossed over quite a few things, but that's basically the long and short of it.
Sorry about that. Just taking a quick drink. Anyway, it has now been a few months since you returned from the Chinese Lost Belt. Once you're all rested up, I'm going to have you head out to your next order, Lost Belt number 4, where you will investigate a strange Lost Belt that has been repeatedly expanding and contracting. Moreover, the captain will be joining you on your adventure into a dazzling realm of Indian mythology. Of course, if I had known that it would take this long to get ready, I would not have hyped it up quite so much. My original calculations had me modifying, convincing Captain a bit sooner than this.
Hey, it wasn't your fault we all cut up with that ordeal. Honestly, I'm just glad we were able to verify that we could actually race shift again.
Indeed, we now know for certain that we are able to race shift from the Wandering Sea as well as from Chaldea. While the ability to observe time and space outside the Lost Belts may not help in our efforts to remove them, having more options available can only be a good thing. Though that's not to say some of us aren't a bit worse for wear. My Sacred to Gordolf, has your weight returned to normal yet?
It has. Not that I heard any say in the matter. I still don't think it's right that I was the only one who didn't get to go on break. Nor do I see why we need an obsolete relic like ray shifting when we have the zero sale. Go on, Rooney. You know I'm right. Tell them how you and the whole staff are just as sick and tired of ray shifting as I am.
Shit.
This is still Jim.
Oh, right.
I'm a new year again? Oh well. What are you talking about? They're both mind-blowing technological achievements. You just gotta use them right. Also, I was on the staff at the original Chaldea too, so if anything, I'm way more used to ray shifting. You agree with me, right, Jovo? Ray shifting is way more fun than zero sailing, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Two boy. Why did I have to be born so ray shift compatible? Oh, never mind all that. Sion, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. We know that the Cryptors' accursed leader, Kusharia Wodime, is in the Atlantic Lost Belt. I'm also told it's the largest Lost Belt in the world by far, and that the branches of its tree of Intimus cover Earth's entire stratosphere. So what possible point could there be in making a pit stop in this Lost Belt in India?
Okay, first of all, it is not a pit stop. We need to go there to ensure our chances of victory are as high as possible. According to the Trigamistus, the ocean occupies most of the Atlantic Lost Belt's territory. And we are not talking a modern-day ocean here, we are talking about one from the Age of Gods, filled to the brim with ether and demonic beasts. As things stand right now, we have no way of crossing an ocean like that safely. If we were to enter the Atlantic Lost Belt now, you would just end up as so much seaweed.
I see. Does that mean we can't get there in the border?
I'm afraid not. Gian and I have been talking about it, and we both came to the same conclusion. It's just not possible to make the border seaworthy without preserving its existing functionality. Just because it can sail in void space doesn't mean it can do the same in reality space. Each ocean requires a completely different means of traversal. And since the border is an all-terrain void transporter, we can't allocate that many resources only to make it capable of sailing on real water. I guess we could technically do it if we made the hull bigger, but if we did that, we wouldn't have nearly enough staff to run it. Illegal land sites would need at least 60 professionals to be operated. And guess what resources we are at lowest on just now? I'm guessing that's human.
Hey, Guardian, how you been?
Yeah, and the rest of the border staff are all doing their best, but...
Right, so you're going to acquire what we need in the Indian Lost Belt. So, you want us to recruit more people there? Oh, no, nothing like that. We already know that you cannot bring anything native to a lost spot outside it, right? No, this is a simple matter of earthbound coordinates. India has everything we currently lack, so you're going to go there to get it all in one fell swoop. Is that not right, Captain? We're all done making adjustments and attachments over there. Over here, anyway. All you have to do now is personally activate the Aranex Phantasm in India and attach it. Yes, I'll go with them. It's been several months since I started helping out with the border's maintenance. It might be as slow as a sea turtle, but I can't help but have some affection for it after all this time. And I know the Phantasm needs to be activated very carefully, with a precise ritual, and only at particular coordinates. I don't know if we can even use it in a lost boat or not. We'll never know unless we try. That said, I'm the one who's going to decide what it becomes. That part is non-negotiable. And if I decide it's not going to work, I'm going to come back on my own. Got that, Sion? Sure, as your master, I'm okay with that. Though I seriously doubt you are capable of being so heartless.
What are you talking about?
Nice, that's a lot of quartz for a story, jeez. We're talking about my coming along with you to India. I thought you'd already been told about that. Da Vinci, do you remember seeing a steel pyramid-shaped object somewhere around the dock? Well, it's mine. Pardon me for a second. Let me retake that. Well, it's mine. I'd like you to store it on the border for me. In the worst case, we can use it as a shield.
Oh, you mean that weird-looking thing that almost seems like part of a car body kit? Is that the Aranex Phantasm thing you were just talking about?
Yeah, it's not much use for a mermaid that can swim around the ocean freely, though.
I can't say I know what it is you're talking about, but the more servants around who can keep me safe, the better.
Thanks? Anyway, glad to be here, everybody. Oh, and don't worry about my seat. I already installed one for me, and it only takes up half of Minervia's space.
Oh, really? That means Captain's gonna be sitting next to me. This is my big chance to show him what I'm made of. I can't wait to get started. Alright, but is that our only objective in India? Does this mean we don't have to cut down its tree of emptiness?
No, you will definitely be needing to eliminate the Indian lost belt while you're there. Given that it seems to be indirectly responsible for the recent ray-shift incident. The Indian lost belt. There is a very good chance that these histories that were pruned away after they were deemed unnecessary contain significant and unprecedented threats. I've determined that we cannot leave this lost belt be just because it is low on our list of priorities. Besides, there's still so much we do not know, and not just about the Trees of Emptiness. What is going on with the Cryptors? Who are the alter egos claiming to be the disciples of the foreign god? Every lost belt we investigate provides us with more data. Chovo, Mash, Da Vinci, Gordolf, Nervier, and also Captain, I guess. As the one supervising the command room, and as someone personally wishing for your success, there is something I wish to say. You need to eliminate every lost belt. We have no choice but to fight, regardless of how painful that choice is. You need to eliminate them both to improve our chances of victory during the inevitable climactic confrontation, and to return human history to its proper place. Whoops, scratch that. I should have known better than to get overly serious before you have even headed out on the mission anyway. I'm sure we'll run into more than enough trouble in the Lost Belt, so we should at least try to enjoy ourselves while we're at the base. Alright, as all for now, please make sure to review the particulars on this mission on your mobile devices. And don't just gotcha the whole time, make sure you're paying attention, there'll be a quiz later. Be sure to get plenty of sleep and come back to the dock by the time we agreed on.
Roger that.
Meanwhile, or later that day. Da Vinci? Sheep? Sleep standing?
Oh, Jovo, what's up? We have less than 6 hours until the mission starts, so you should head back to your room and get some rest. I doubt we'll have any chances to get a full night's sleep once we're in the Lost Belt. Who knows when you'll get another chance to stay in a bed that doesn't rock.
It's actually time to go right now, Da Vinci. Oh, check your watch there.
It's the right time? Have I been sleeping standing up this whole time? Oopsies. Still, I want to get back to my workshop, so I guess I ended up resting my eyes first a little longer than I meant to. Well, I feel silly. Anyway, go on, heading down to the dock. I'll catch up with you guys soon.
Okay.
Oh,
She escaped down the hall like it was a giant rink. Oh, hi, Neja.
sorry, Da Vinci is having some operational difficulties.
Okay, when did you get here?
I have been behind you for some time. You must have been so focused on Da Vinci that you didn't notice. In any case, this is a good chance to tell you this. You can't let Da Vinci push herself too much. She is doing everything Leonardo da Vinci would be doing, but whilst in a much, much smaller body. That obviously puts tremendous strain on her. You must be aware of that. She may have inherited Leonardo da Vinci's duties, but she is a pseudo-servant, just like Mesh was. We may differ in format, but she and I are very similar, understand? I understand how she is feeling. Nope, scratch that. I do not know how she is feeling, and she's strong.
Neja?
I said too much. My apologies. So please keep this between us. Promise? I am coming along to the Indian Lost Boat. I hope we can continue to get along.
And have you with us again?
Understood. I promise I will not let you down. That said, the jewel on my chest is acting up a bit. I don't think this has ever happened to me before. The Indian Lost Boat is a very bad place. Every part of my spirit origin is warning me not to go. Even so, every Lost Belt is dangerous. I am the Crown Prince Neja. I must not back down from a challenge. If things go bad, I know you will help me. I'm sure I have nothing to worry about. Let's go, the others are waiting.
Alright.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I can't believe I took so long to get ready. The power nap did not take long enough.
Well, it looks like you're all here. Then let's begin the final rundown. Your destination is the Indian Lost Belt. Your objective is to help Captain gain experience, power up the Shadow Border, explore the Indian Lost Belt, and ultimately eliminate it. Captain and I will handle the Shadow Border side of things, so please do not concern yourselves with that. What I would like you to focus on, Master Chovo, is cutting down the Indian Tree of Emptiness. I estimate you should have room in the border to fit about 20 days worth of supplies. While the Aeronax Phantasm will be loaded into the hangar's elemental equipment, you will not need to account for it in battle, as it is not meant for offensive purposes. I take it we'll be summoning reinforcement servants within the Lost Belt again, as we have done thus far. Correct. From here, you will need to travel across void space to get close to the Indian Lost Belt, and from there, you'll need to immediately undergo another zero sail in order to make your way inside. Consecutive zero sails are draining, even for servants, and Da Vinci's protection safeguards can only do so much. So I think it's best if we keep no more than 3 servants on standby in the border.
Then, no matter how many servants we win over to our side in the future, we'll only be able to take 3 of them in a Lost Boat with us?
That's how it works out, yes. I'm not saying we can never send more than 3 if we really have to, but the servants summoned inside a Lost Belt are more powerful anyway. So, when you get there, I would like you to secure a ley line and use Mash's Holy Relic to form a contract with new heroic spirits, just as you have in the other Lost Belts. Alright then. As the Wandering Sea Command Room Supervisor, I have an order for those of you on the field team. As of this moment, Novum Chaldea will be transitioning to its first battle position. Field team, go ahead and board the border, starting with Master Chovo. Once I've confirmed all your vials are green, you'll begin a zero sail. And officially commence Order Lost Belt number 4, along with its sub-order, Horned monster. Make sure you all give it everything you have, and I look forward to your safe return. Alright. Prepare to set out. Alright. PS system typically is Da Vinci anyway, so I assume this is just gonna be you, Mush.
I figured I was gonna do it anyway, but activating Paper Moon, initiating planet navigational chart plus minus convergence, commencing Shadow Borders docking sequence into reality boundary. Proper human history resemblance C. Lost spell depth A. Firing existence verification tether into reality space. Anchor point heroic spirit virtual nautical chart confirmed. Zero sail complete. Emerging into reality space.
Kachuna's just looking at you like, welcome to my special hell. More or less. Oh god, we're doing Z summoning right now? Is that what this is?
Reality space anchor secured. Reality verification complete. Establishing Shadow Borders existence within Lost Belt. Zero sail return successful.
Alright. Good. We made it back to reality space.
Violent shaking never gets any easier. Are you okay, Master?
I'm fine. I'm used to it by now.
I'm impressed, Master. How many people could adapt to this as quickly as you have?
Not so fast. Just take a look at how adeptly I'm carrying myself. Why, I'm the very picture of dignity. A zero cell is no worse than a drive in the rain for me. Surely all that rattling must have been a dreadful sight more difficult for a freshly summoned servant who's never left that lukewarm base of yours, no?
Okay, I got caught off guard there, my bad. Okay, is there an echo in the room? What's with the ambiance here? Also, hey, Kingdom Hearts. I feel quite as powerless as a krill, one already in a whale's stomach at that. But never mind. So long as I am at sea, even the most violent upheaval is as a gentle breeze to me. If anyone should be worried about getting seasick, it's you guys. The ship could and should be much more comfortable. In particular, I'd like to add a bit more in the way of padding into my cushions. A good captain must always take care of his crew, after all. Had I known how uncomfortable these chairs were, I would have prioritized making improvements.
Hey, I'm glad to work together to keep the border system in good shape. Yeah, I'm not about to let you go tinkering with tiny things like that on your own anytime soon. Even something as small as changing the air freshener we use in the bathroom could lead to fighting among the staff. I've actually been a lot more considerate of everyone on board than you might think, you know.
Oh, that's good to hear. But this is the sort of problem that should have been addressed in the planning stages of creating this vessel. You might have the most advanced vessel in the world, but it will do you little good if your crew is in too low spirits to make proper use of it. I guess the previous Da Vinci had no idea how difficult a voyage at sea could be.
Well, you got me there. Last version of me was a genius, but she was definitely kinda... what's the word I could say? Insensitive? About things like that? So she didn't make this amazingly capable armored vehicle back when nobody had any idea what was going to happen. I'd say that's more that gets me off the hook for overlooking little things like cushions!
I'm not even going to entertain this argument. The next time we build a vehicle, we'll be sure to pay more attention to creature comforts, at the very least. In the meantime, we have made our way through the storm wall and are now inside the Indian Lost Belts. We should begin by assessing our surroundings. First things first, Mr. Minervier, can you see this Lost Belt's tree of emptiness?
Yeah, I think that's it over there. I can see something far off to the southeast.
That's big. So it has already taken root, as I suspected. Furthermore, it appears to have already grown considerably. But unlike in China and Scandinavia, at least we know where to find it. That should save us a good deal of time.
Let's go cut it down right now.
Like that? Are all Chinese robots so bold?
I will stab you.
No, that would be too dangerous. The tree is very far away, and I doubt the enemy has simply left it undefended. Oh yes, that reminds me. I'm aware we have yet to define this term for our current circumstances, but there is almost certainly another enemy we will need to face here. Given what we have seen thus far, there is an excellent chance that there is a cryptor assigned this Lost Belt, and a king who has been ruling it since prior to the cryptor's arrival. It is therefore in our best interest to gather as much information as we can before we prepare to face them. While this particular entry of emptiness does seem to have grown considerably, it also appears to be in a fairly stable state. So we do not seem to be under any immediate pressure. Of course, if things should take a sudden turn for the worse, we will have no choice but to act. Yet for the time being, it should be safe to prioritize investigating this Lost Belt. Or for the time being. Whatever steps we take next, we should begin by getting to the bottom of this case, or that is, this unknown history.
Yes, quite. Very well. We will start by gathering information. It's important to know exactly what sort of dangers one is up against, after all.
I see. Understood for now. Alright, let's see if there's anything else of interest around here. What's that?
Oh, hello. It would seem that there is something else visible to the naked eye here. Something a fair distance from the Tree of Emptiness in its own right. Fascinating. It's a very,
It's very big, square.
Big square. Big square.
What the hell is that? Is it natural? Man-made? Hurry up and scan it, man.
I'm working on it. Come on. It's no use. I can't get a read on it with anything. It's like it's deflecting any attempts to scan it.
Odd. I thought it might be some sort of magecraft-based structure, but if it doesn't show up on magical energy scans, perhaps it isn't. It seems all we can do is barely make it out with our eyes, which would mean that, empirically speaking, we can't even be sure it's truly there. I suppose one possible explanation is that we are all just seeing things. Alright, which one of you scamps took my void dust?
You mean a mass hallucination? As in a vision from space? Warm hospitality? A frightening girl? My head.
Please calm down, Director. I'm sure that somebody was trying to make a joke. And failing.
Well, I thought it was funny. At any rate, the only thing we can say for sure at this point is that we have no idea as to what's going on. Also, seriously though, which one of you took my void dust? I need that. Though I do wonder if this...
A little moth in the corner with all the void dust.
Though I do wonder if this has anything to do with that mysterious girl we saw in the Russian Russian's Tree of Emptiness. In the sense that we could also see her despite being unable to observe her with any instrumentation. Then again, I suppose she did technically appear as a sort of blank spot on our senses. Regardless, we still have far too little information to work with, so there's nothing to be gained from drawing conclusions now.
Kingdom Hearts boy joke? My void dust is no joke.
I guess we might be able to get some readings if we get in close. I can't say I'm thrilled about the idea of getting near that thing, but if you want to head over there and try.
Don't be daft. Why would we try to go inside that thing when we don't know the first thing about it? Why, if something were to happen to the border or me, mankind's last hopes would be dashed for good. No, our first order of business is to ensure our surroundings are safe, and then ensure I'm safe. Isn't that right, technical administrative advisors?
You're not wrong. Lost Boats do have their own population, so we know there's gotta be a town around here. I can't tell if there's one near that giant cube or anywhere else nearby. Well, whenever we find one, we shouldn't get too close to it in the border. Remember what happened in China? So if we prioritize information and supplies, I think we should start by looking for a campsite. Luckily, the environmental readings are all stable, so we can assume it's safe enough to focus on keeping a low profile. I'd really rather not use the camo function. We can help it since it's a bit of a resource hog. Now, where's a good elevated place we could hide the border? Ah, that mountain looks promising.
Looks like the border's got a flat tire.
Alright, we should probably
Crap.
decide on our plan of attack here, just to make sure. How is that device holding up?
We just get a flat tire. Well, mission's canceled. We're done. We can't do anything. The Anorex Phantasm is as quiet as a piece of coral. It's not about to wake up anytime soon. I was afraid of this. If we get to the coordinates now, I won't be able to do the ritual to activate it as long as this lost belt is here.
So we won't be able to use your fancy new device to update the board so we can rid this lost spell, huh? I thought that might be the case, but that doesn't make it any less sucky.
Well, what did you expect? One can hardly hope to win first prize while taking part in the race. We will need to cut off this lost belt sooner or later, so if anything, this only helps simplify matters.
Indeed. Now, as usual, my duty is to defend the border, seeing as it's the last bastion of hope for mankind and all. Chovo and Mash, as you two are our field team, you will be working, well, in the field. Given that this will be the fourth lost belt you've investigated, you should be old hands at it by now.
Understood.
I'll be sure to stay alert when we're in the field. Like I said before, the environment here is a lot more stable than Western Russia or Scandinavia. It's similar to China's climate in a lot of ways, but in addition to the physical heat and humidity, there's also a high concentration of mana in the air. That means you won't be able to use the portable stealth devices I gave you in China, just so you're aware. Still, at least we won't know you need to use the area sports or any other special transport equipment with gear. Those stupid geeks. So you won't have to worry about that. Yes, ma'am.
Good, good. Just the sort of enthusiasm I like to see. However, one can't live on enthusiasm alone. Having just two of you out in the field is a risk I would rather not take. So the servants who will accompany you on your investigation shall be...
Sorry, I think that's a sensible decision, but I can't accompany them. I was not sent here as a combatant. Were I to try and fight alongside Chovo, I'd just get in the way. My job is to make improvements on this vessel. I may not yet be able to do so, but there's still a lot of fundamental work I can begin now. The first thing I'm going to focus on is improving this bridge's shock absorption. As I said, these cushions leave quite a lot to be desired.
I was planning to get to them when I had the time, you know.
Well, too bad, I'm doing it now.
Of course, I will accompany them. I have some connection to India, as well as I'm sure I can be useful. Right, India has historically been close with China, where they called it Tianjin. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Thank you, Nasia. It's very reassuring knowing you'll be there to help us.
Nonetheless, Nasia alone simply won't be enough. Da Vinci needs to remain here on standby so that she can operate the border at a moment's notice if necessary. And Holmes needs to stay here so that he can make full use of the border's instruments while he analyzes our findings. Suffice to say, Chovo, that you will need to bolster your fighting force if you are to carry out your investigation. To do so, you will have to try summoning new servants in the field. It's a shame the Atlas Institute servant wasn't more accommodating, but there's nothing we can do about that.
I see Guardy's in a really good mood now that he has another servant staying behind who can keep him safe. I agree that you need to start by summoning servants, but as I say, every cloud has a silver lining. This particular summoning has two of them. First off, electricity. Thanks to Xian, we have another disposable booster you can use like you did in China. She said it's called a void cell. I gotta say the Atlas Institute comes up with some really interesting stuff sometimes. As a refresher, just hook it up to Mash Shield and provide all the resources you need to summon. Unfortunately, thanks to all the time it took to make everything, it's only got enough juice for 2 servants. Hey, it's still way better than flying a kite in a storm, right?
Don't remind me.
Second, I already found a perfect ley line for summoning. And it's within walking distance.
I concur. Once you have bolstered your forces there, you can begin investigating our surroundings in earnest.
Understood. We'll make sure to do that.
Well, no time like the present. Let's go!
You're sure you're okay with this, Gordy?
What do you mean?
You know, I just figured you want to say, hold it, I'm the director and I give the orders around here, or something like that.
Oh. Well, I will admit I did come up with a few alternative directives ahead of time. But I ultimately decided they weren't necessary, given how this Lost Belt seems fairly peaceful. And if there is no point in saying them, well, why waste my breath? It's only good sense.
Of course, there is a point to that. They're very important. Come on, Gordy, say something.
Oh, well, if you insist, and if it's not too late. Hold it. You're forgetting something pivotal.
What's that?
Your commander's orders, of course. We can't start an operation without them. Go on now, line up, back straight, never mind the salute, just listen up. Chovo, as the captain of the Shadow Border and the director of Chaldea, here are your orders. You are to investigate this Lost Belt spreading across the Indian land and to find the means of felling that tree of emptiness as soon as possible. In addition to eliminating this Lost Belt and protecting Earth from this invasion, you are also to secure a path that will enable us to further modify and evolve the Shadow Border.
Yes, sir!
That's more like it. When a mission is especially difficult, that's when you need to send them off with high hopes. We're like coming into our own as a team. I think we even give them both Chaldea a run for its money.
And so it begins. Lost Belt number 4.
Buddy.
Mazar of Genesis and Terminus. Shetra. Alright. Also, Jim, is there a... I'm guessing that your area is still kind of a little empty because I'm hearing like a lot of reverb on your end.
Sorry, what was that?
You don't have enough soundproofing.
No,
Yeah,
I get
all.
that. I get that.
No soundproofing at all. It is a rather old house.
Chris, maybe check that at all? You have Chris Bonner on or off?
It is on, I believe. Advanced noise suppression on.
Okay, just checking. It's fine. For now,
And
anyway.
I do have echo cancellation on as well, so it should be a lot worse than what it is.
Huh.
He has a point.
Okay, fair enough.
I have to ask, are you sure this will work? You had a fairly rough go of it in China, didn't you? Granted, I was so out of sorts early on there, thanks to having to confront my mortality, that I wasn't able to make the same sort of cool-headed decisions I usually do. I actually don't quite remember what happened very well. Still, I do recall hearing something about being unable to summon servants there. You don't have to tell us. We're all fully aware.
We were there.
But I think we'll be okay. China is a unique situation, even for a Lost Belt. Still, for what it's worth, I don't think Chovo will have any trouble summoning capable servants here.
Same. All we have to do now is give it a shot. Is, everything ready, Mesh? Yes, everything is in place for the summoning spell, and the connection to the Spirit Origin briefcase is stable. Running final checks. Done. Heroic Spirit Summoning System Fate. All systems green. Go ahead whenever you're ready, Master.
Something's... My will creates your body, and your sword creates my destiny. If you heed the Grail's call and abide by this will and reason, then answer me. I hereby swear, I embody all that is good in the world. I shall defeat all that is evil in the world. Seventh Heaven Clan, the 3 words of power, come forth from the circle of binding, Guardian of the Scales!
Karma, a saber, and the Green King of Kosala.
I am a Lancer. My true name is Karna. It is good to be here.
It works, Senpai! We couldn't have hoped for a better result!
We even know them already. Sweet!
Whoa, good. I knew I had it in me. Why, those servants I summoned are perfect for tackling India. With a lineup like this, I dare say we've already as good as won.
Well, technically it was Chelva that summoned them. This is such good news, Alex. We want to run around whooping for joy. I will, of course.
Oh, come on, Mash. You've done it in the past. Hey, oh!
Okay, fine. Hey, oh!
That's better.
Barely spoken, Ram gleefully I said. Go ahead, Flo.
I'd imagine Fo was doing the same thing.
He's doing the little thing he does in the Babylon anime.
Ah, I see. Now I understand. So we are fighting for Chaldea on behalf of proper human history.
Indeed. Sounds as though your path thus far has been quite arduous, Mr. Chelvo. But now that you have summoned me, the King Kasala, and the Avatar Vishnu, the worries are all over. No matter what manner of hardships may lay ahead, my sword, obeying to all evil, will render any obstacles you encounter asunder. And on the slight chance of not enough by thyself, you managed to summon Karna, the hero of benefaction. This goes far beyond just good luck. Just many good deeds to be done during this kind of karma, Master.
You give me far more credit than I deserve. Still, I can promise you this, Master. Now that I have been summoned here, I will do everything in my power to see your will done. I await your orders. That said... 1 second. Clear my throat for a second. Sorry, just checking something here. That said, as a Kshatriya, sorry, I butchered that for a second there. I could ask for no greater honor than to fight alongside the King of Kosala. Truthfully, even I cannot deny that I feel fortune smiling upon us.
How very respectful of you, Sir God of the Sun. I feel most assured knowing you have my back.
Somebody's happy about this, eh, Mash? Eh?
Oh, yes, although I'm also just relieved, since I already know very well just how rogue and dependable they are. I'm so grateful the other ones who chose to answer your call. I'll say even without the going from them, I'd say these were some of the best possible servants you could have hoped to summon. It's almost as if they were a 4 and 5 star.
It's almost like they're from. It's almost like they have legends in India.
And they're also high rarity, but we don't talk about that. Rama, Karna, Arjuna, and Parvati were my top choices from the Spirit Orgy graph going in. But I was still rolling dice as to whether any of them would respond to the summon. And if that weren't good enough, Rama and Karna are both enormously well-known and influential here. Given all that, along with the fact they know India like the back of their hands, I'm sure they'll even be more helpful than usual. That said, I'm sure them things might be off for them here, given that it's a lost well-known, but sure they'll handle it way better than us Europeans.
Speaking of which, what do you make of this lost build so far? How is it different from the India you're familiar with?
How is it different? How is it not different? I recognize none of this topography. No, it's more than that. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. It feels like the air here is...
Yes, it's very dry. Makes me feel lonely.
Yeah, that's it. Makes me feel lonely. No idea what that might mean, though. Lonely, huh? And of course, I always make it a point to try to sense my wife whenever I materialize. Seems she is nowhere to be found here. One more reason I feel lonely, I think. Maybe we'll see till when we get to see you again.
I don't sense anything familiar here either. Well, I suppose there is.
You picking up on something?
No, it's nothing. For a moment, I felt a bit of the kind of tension I feel prior to battle. I was trying to figure out what it might be, but I couldn't come up with anything. I must have been imagining things. Or perhaps my mind was playing tricks on me. I'm sorry I can't be clearer than that, Master. Very well then, what do you make of that mysterious cube off in the distance?
To be honest, I have no idea. I've traveled to all manner of countries in my search for Sita, but I've never seen nor heard of anything like that.
Nor have I. There is something about its shape that seems vaguely familiar. But I'm not sure that it is not the kind of answer you are looking for.
I really know. I'd say it's like a giant die or an enormous 3 puzzle, but that won't do us any good. You wouldn't know what it's made of, not what it looks like.
If you proper human history servants don't know, then it's obviously something unique to this lost belt. In which case, the only way we'll find answers is by investigating it. You can start with...
Sorry.
You can start with our immediate surroundings as I originally planned. Remember, the fate of the world hinges on us, so make sure you do your damn jobs.
Hey, Master, I know he's your superior, but does he have to be so condescending? Does he not know I'm a king?
He's a good guy at heart, I promise, with fingers crossed behind my back.
Well, no matter. Given that I am a servant now, I can certainly overlook a transgression or two. He is definitely condescending, but also totally harmless. I recommend not dwelling on it.
Oh!
Alright, why don't we get our investigation underway?
I'll begin with the immediate vicinity, so just head in the direction we tell you and we should be all set.
I like to imagine that they just pick a direction at random by like just spinning in like a wheel that just points north, south, east, west. And we just go in that direction.
You might run into a wild animal or two along the way, but I'm sure you guys will be able to handle that just fine.
Incoming Jinx in 3, 2, 1. Alright. We're gonna bring Mash along, I think. Yeah, it's just Mash only.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected.
That's not surprising. Well, I guess I can have you generate some stars for us.
God, look at that team, though!
It's not bad, honestly. I'm going to grab Old
That
Faithful
was
over here.
an MP for Rama, Karna, and Nasia. Alright.
Alright! Nasia being an anchor here is actually pretty good because she does have guts, so that's good. And hey, we didn't get interrupted by a certain, like update or whatever, like we usually do. Oh, interesting.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Increase quick card, arts card, and buster card effectiveness, increase the amount of HP recovered, and decrease the resistance. Well, that's a problem.
I mean, it's fine, because they're not quick servants, so...
No, it says buster quick, it says quick arts and buster.
Oh, it has the quick little thing, though.
Yeah, it's a little deceiving, isn't it?
Well, I guess that makes sense, considering story stuff.
Go get him, Rama.
Alright.
Close. Unfortunately. Pretty low, so wasn't really expecting it. Alright, I think Karna wants to get moving. But,
Quite enough.
yeah. I should just kill the Berserker right away. That Buster card. Oh well.
It's okay. We can MP both of them and call it a day.
Well, I mean, we can. A little bit of overkill here, but this is fine.
神々の王の慈悲を知れ。絶滅とはこの一つし。インドライ活目しよう。わさびシャッティ。ぜひ。
Rommel will finish the job. Destructo Disc! There's some of these stuff for the campaign missions at the moment. Ah, there it is.
There's login.
Actually, while that's going on, I will be right back.
I need to be right back as well.
All right, gonna take a quick break, everybody. So I'm gonna run a quick ad, and we'll be right back. And when we come back, we're gonna continue with more Lost Boat 4.
Well, it seems that I have been left with chat once again. How are you all doing this fine day? If you are hungry, then perhaps you should go get some food.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I'm not still not back yet. How's everybody else doing? Let's go ahead and get the thing there. There we go. So we're back that. Alright, should I go for... Yeah, I'll go for Night Metals. Always needs more of those. Alright.
I saw that Kitchen Star said it's such a good CE.
Alright, let's continue.
Gee, I wonder what setup we're gonna do again.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same one for a little while, what I remember. At least up until... At least for a few sections, anyway.
Until we get to the ley line.
We didn't end up running some wild animals, but you all handled them no problem. And said,
There's obviously something on your minds.
Indeed. Now I've had a quick warm, I can say for sure there is something strange about this land.
I agree completely, but I can't figure out what it might be.
Yes, compared to the one we know we're from, we know from proper human history, was it? It feels as though there is something unusual covering the entire world.
Is it like the loneliness you mentioned before?
Maybe, maybe not. It's something I can't really put my finger on, nor can I put it to work. All I know for sure is that whatever it is preventing us from performing at our best. It doesn't mean we can't fight, but we definitely can't use 100% of our power.
Do you think it'll get better?
Honestly, I don't know. Things might improve once we get used to it, but at this point, I can't say. Nonetheless, I wouldn't pay it too much heed. Even if we can't use all our power, we still have more than enough to carry out your commands. So, don't worry about us, Master. All you need to worry about is telling us what to do. Oh, it looks like we have some more hungry beasts to deal with. Let's take care of them quickly so we can continue investigating our surroundings.
Righto. Alright.
And more importantly, so I can get back to my next banana.
You and your banana. Oh, we haven't even gotten to that bit yet. Come on, Lee.
Listen, I can make the joke because that's literally what he gives you for Valentine's, so.
I know, but still. Let's generate a couple stars before we get
he
me.
did come out before the whole banana joke.
Yeah. I think it just kind of someone just saw the scene, the Valentine scene, and just said, you know what? Let's just make that a part of his character. Like just in Lost Ball 4, that'll be fun.
Bananas.
Banana. So, yeah, it's just a feature restoration. Okay. Let me waste some damage, but you know what? I'll just do that. Just go Buster. Just go full on Buster with this. It should kill the first one. Yep, easy. Ow, all the crit. Nice. Nice one, Anna. And you run, and as well as Rama.
Freaking bees.
Bees everywhere!
Sorry, I don't like the particular bugs in this on the sheer fact of Fate Zero event.
Oh.
Where it had the node where you the missions where you had to fight a lot of bees. I had approximately too much bees.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna do the same thing as last time and just move the whole wave. I mean, it really is just a nuke. Flame and all.
No, not quite.
This should kill the big one, and then Mash can finish with the last one. Yeah, we're good. Mash going in for the final blow, just like, eh! Explosions, Destructo Disc, eh!
I did it.
I helped!
I did the thing. Right?
Yeah, you did fine,
So hey, what do you make of this area so far?
We've been able to get a handle on to some degree, but we can only get on our end. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on how you've been experiencing for yourself. Well, I can see a lot of placid bodies of water around. They're all covered in lotus flowers, and it's very pretty. And there's also plenty of tri-land, so we haven't had any problems walking around.
It's honestly... it's surprisingly normal, but strangely peaceful.
Well, of course, water is essential for living things to survive. Looks like there are large rivers here, too, so it seems just as environmentally stable as Trina was.
Oh? The signal. Is that... hold on, let me just... just as I suspected. A world with a pleasant climate is bound to have people, which also means it's bound to have towns. I just picked up what appears to be one such town in the direction you're headed. I'll send you the coordinates now. Be sure to approach it with the utmost caution. People! Civilization! But is it a good civ?
I mean, all civ's good civ. Except for when it's bad civ.
Okay, now we can... I think we can start just bringing other peoples then? Yeah, we can start bringing other servants now, I think.
Karna's so good, though!
No MP upgrade, though! Thumbs down.
True.
Thumbs down.
Listen, he at least is trying his best, okay?
Thumbs down. Sure. Bring in a Karna. Don't mind this.
Speaking of Karna, actually, I'm only like 9,000 bond away from getting him to where I can start doing his interlude, which makes me very happy.
Hey, welcome back, Skeletor. Got some
Welcome
food?
back, Skeletor.
Nice.
Which, considering I haven't had him for that long and I've already got him up this high, I'm happy about that.
Actually, wait, no, I got a better idea. I got a better idea for this. Here, we'll bring Rama. We're bringing Rama along, but we're also bringing back an old friend of his. Hey, Nightingale.
Oh God! Not America. Not again. Not again.
Gonna just carry him around. Just literally gonna carry him everywhere again.
I put a backpack. I'm walking fine now. Why are you carrying me?
I need to carry the team at some point, don't I?
And now he's just pouting.
Anyway,
she's like actually like she's wrapped her arms around his legs and then like locked him in so he can't wiggle if he tried.
I also don't know who's to bring along for this. Let's go with.
I'd say we can go full Indian team if we can.
We have Ash, but I'm saving him for later. Nightingale mounts. Yeah.
God, Red Hair's final art looks so weird when it's in the little icon.
It really does look weird.
It's just horse head.
Let's get weird.
Maury!
Also bring his favorite support friend.
Oh no.
We're not gonna yeet the guy unless he's about to die. Then he gets yeeted. And Rhinus as well, because that can help negate their like things for that, so that'll help. Actually, if I'm gonna bring Rhinus for this, I should probably just. I don't know why I'm thinking so hard about this, considering, but it's fine. Just slap some C's on everybody real fast. I have a Star Bomb for you. I think I have Chicken Buster, if that works. $20-30. So for tons of demonic enemies. Mm-hmm. Demons. Demons everywhere. This is a weird team. Yeah, this is fine. Can we still yeet him after the battle ends? Good try. Close your eyes, clasp your hands. Offer your prayers to the God above. Those three things are an important part of our daily lives. We all have to do them. Ah, this is you, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm thinking here.
My father complains about everything, but he still prays every day, even if he always grumbles while he does it. If I forget to pray at the right time, he gets really angry. Well, I mean, he's always angry, but he gets even more angry. I think if I had a mother, she'd get angry too. I've only heard about mothers in stories, so I don't know that for sure, but that's what I guess. Prayers are very important, so I can't blame them for getting angry. It's true for routine prayers and prayers just for the sake of praying. Praying is an essential part of our lives. We pray, and we pray, and we hope that our God hears us. We live our lives the best we can. We try hard to be good people. So please, oh great God above, please guide us to the next yuga. What's all that commotion outside? I'm gonna go take a look.
Where do you think you're going?
It's okay, I already finished my prayers. Come on, Bihan.
Oh no. Why, it's the rule of the Lost Belts.
Actually, there's actually a character here that I actually don't remember who was supposed to have them, actually. Not it.
The next one I see here, as far as I'm aware of, is a gym. We just have, yeah.
Should be, yeah, that sounds right. Anyway.
Right. Once we confirmed the town was safe to approach, we decided to take a closer look. There was only so much we could learn at a distance. That said, this isn't what I was expecting.
It definitely doesn't seem too peaceful here. I mean, look at the fountain, it was kind of crooked over there.
I'd have to agree. there are a number of broken buildings, and the fountain is jutting out at an odd angle.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a beautiful town square if it was properly maintained, but as it is now, it feels kind of run down. What about townspeople? Are there any there? Yes, there are, though it feels like they're giving us a bit of a wide berth. I didn't see any 3-year beasts like we did in Rush, and it doesn't look like the ages are skewed like in Scandinavia. And claims they look like perfectly ordinary people.
They do seem to be wary of us. I don't sense any overt hostility. I imagine they would react similarly to any unfamiliar visitors. It would seem they are sizing us up just as we're sizing them up. In that case, it's best if we don't give them unnecessary cause for suspicion. We'll refrain from calling you for the time being, so please use that time to focus on gathering as much info as you can.
Understood. Alright, here goes.
That doggo is adorable. I like how they call he's just called Doggo.
We actually say doggo.
Oh, look at the doggo, it's adorable. What the dog doing?
Oh. She doesn't seem to be afraid of us either. I think I'll try talking to her. Hi there, can we talk to you for a bit? You surprised me. Hello? I'm sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Oh, don't worry, I'm always spacing out, so I get surprised a lot. If you just wanted to talk, that's fine with me. It's like, can I ask who you guys are? I've never seen anyone else dressed like you before.
We're, travelers.
That's right. This is Chobo, and I'm Mash Kierline. May I ask your name? I'm Masha, and this is Mihan. He's astonishingly cute, isn't he?
Look at the doggo.
So, you're named after the Hindi words for hope and dawn. Lovely. Okay, so I almost forgot. I am Rama, and this is Karna and Nasia. You may have heard our names and stories of great warriors, but pay that no heed.
It's my imagination. Do the other people here seem afraid of something?
So, if you're travelers, does that mean you don't have a home? No, I don't. At least, not in this town. You know, that's terrible. Shockingly terrible.
Why is that terrible?
Because of the Kali, of course. You can't pray at your house without a house. If you can't pray the Kali, you're gonna eat you.
Holly, Asha, is that?
Father!
What are you doing here, Asha? Can't you see what's happening?
I think this is just a basic person.
Just anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. The Kali are here. Everyone inside? Okay, I'm locking the door. Get ready to pray.
Kali are here, but these travelers don't have a home. Father, can we at least let them stay in ours?
Of course not. I can't afford to look after a bunch of people we don't even know. Come on, we're going home.
Wait, please. You're Asha's father, right? Can you at least tell us what's going on?
Pardon me a moment. Sorry. My name's Ajay. Use it. And I've got my hands full taking care of just one Ulu. Sorry, but you lot are on your own.
What?
Were you born yesterday or something? With the Kali, of course. All we can do is lock ourselves up in our homes and pray to our God not to discard us. That we don't become faithless, worthless people, doomed to end up as nothing more than Kali food.
And go on, travelers. You gotta hurry and find a place to hide and pray. I'm sure you already know this with the Kali.
Be quiet, Asha. We can't afford to pray for them as well as us. Again, we're going home! Master, all the other people are gone. Looks like we're the only ones left still outside.
They must have all gone back to their homes. What should we do? I know Asha told us to hide, but...
Get back, Master! wow.
What is that thing?
What? What?
Careful, Baz, not the only one.
Oh, there's more of these things.
They're attacking everything in sight. Is that the way the town's in such poor shape?
The devil's name.
That must be one unique to Indian mythology, rather than the one defined by the Holy Church.
I don't know how you Westerners categorize them, but we have always called them devils. I do get the sense that these aren't the same devils we know, but whatever they are clearly bent on causing destruction. No king gets to idly by watch such destruction. These creatures will make worthy foes for my indestructible blade. My body still feels odd, but the effects are negligible. We should have no serious issues.
Agreed. I'm not about to let that stop me from helping. Give us your orders, Master. We'll handle these things.
Let's fight.
Alright, let's go.
Right. My Ordinax is holding steady at better than expected readings. I'm good to go too. Armored Shielder, moving out.
They're like flies. They're just multiplying.
Oh, Senpai, did you like my new thing? Me and Da Vinci kind of workshopped it.
That's alright.
あなたの命を救う
Hello
Look
there.
like basilisks.
あなたの命
They
を
do.
They look like gators.
罠を仕掛けるのは楽しいね正しき命の道へ向かおうさあドリムマウよろしく頼むよ
Yeah, usually whenever I see a basilisk portrayed, it looks it's basically just an alligator with 6 legs.
罠を仕掛けるのは楽しいね診察しますはい診察します消毒無菌緊急治療
And that should kill the first one at least. Kali used swagger. Oh boy.
いいだろう
It really is a Pokemon now.
行くかいいだろう
And Brave Chain there.
行くぞ
Just realized Rafa's voice is rather feminine.
Yeah.
さあ施設前
It's probably due to it being a combination of both Rama and Sita.
Maybe that actually kind of makes sense. Alright, let me go ahead and give Rama some juice to boost his damage.
我が力に刮目せよよ仰せの通りに魔人ラーバナを撃ったこの一撃耐えればもう屈服にはブラフマーストラ
And yes, these things are demonic, so they take a lot of damage from Rama's MP.
これで
Oh, okay, so I've been doing some research on the whole Rama and banana thing. According to what I've been reading, it looks like his whole thing with bananas is because him and his god ate from the same banana leaf.
処置します心配
Yeah, I believe Rama has the same PA as Mordred, Artemis, and oddly and funnily enough, Nightingale.
So you almost got all of them together here.
本格治療を開始します覚悟はよろしいでしょうかへえそいつでいいのかなはい処置しますこれで消毒
It's some impressive range.
The voice, they when you listen to them very closely at the same time, they do all sound pretty similar, but yeah. All right, let's have a bit of fun while we're at it. Yeah, let's have some fun.
I'm Morty. Alright, so
Go get him, Mori.
Yeah, really.
Good stuff, Mori. Good job, buddy.
Good job, Mori.
Hey, Bonfire with
He just comes back to us just covered in blood. It's like
with a massive doofy grin on his face.
you mean his normal smile?
Exactly. Ah, Pichu. Yeah, this is fine. A little late on that one, Skeletor.
There are more than I expected. This could be troublesome.
Next time. Next fight. Stay back! Get away from me! Oh, dear God, save me! It's my fault. I was one step too late.
People have no weapons with which to defend themselves. Their homes are destroyed. There's nothing they can do to avoid being eaten. This is horrific.
Been focusing on the colony going after the more fragile houses, but there seems to be no end to them. Becoming a problem. We could wipe them all out at once with Animal Phantasm, but that would also end up destroying the very people and homes we are trying to protect.
We'll just have to do your best we can. Take them out one at a time.
Agreed. This is truly a race against time. Every second counts when eliminating these monsters. Good grief, when I decided to stay out of sight so not to interfere with your information gathering, I never expected you would end up suddenly fighting such an intense battle. It would seem I'll need to run all the instruments to full power so we will not miss any data. So much for my break. My void does break. Hold it. There's something else headed your way. Many somethings, I should say, and all distinctly different from the creatures you're currently fighting.
What are these white beasts? Are they hostile too? Look, they're attacking the colony.
So, they're on our side? Not necessarily.
I'm not sure if they eat people, if they hunt colleagues we mistook us for. But they're coming after us too. I guess there's no point in wondering how these new creatures might affect the situation. We'll just have to follow Karna's lead and put everything we have into fighting back. We can't let harm come to anyone else. Please give us your orders, Master.
Alright. I guess we're fighting both the collie and whatever these things are. Also, those things are clearly palette swaps of like the little shadows. Alright. And say with yeah, it's like pile swap. It's like say with the glass. Reused assets.
Reused assets. Shit!
Alright, throw more. Okay, throw more pizzas. Throw more pizza at these guys. Apparently, since they're demons, they hate pizza. Makes no sense. Well, actually, now that's something more considering that I'm pretty sure Dante really likes pizza too. Doesn't really work. Never mind. Just keep them destructor discs.
Okay.
I need to go back and play some of the older DMC games, actually. I've only ever really played 5 a lot, and I've tried to play like 4, like the original one, but never really finished them.
Those look like bicords to me.
Hold on. I wonder if I can make this. Alright, let me just guarantee the damage real fast.
Oh god. I see what's about to happen and I don't like it. Actually, I do like it, but this is gross.
Alright.
Yanorama.
Not quite kill them all, but that does a lot of damage.
God, he's so good.
Alright. Star bomb time. Good job, Mori. You did your part. You did what you need to do.
Mori did good. We will give him head pats or whatever he desires in a little bit.
Yeah, he's a fan of tea, I think, so I'll get him some tea leaves later or something.
Ooh, Indian tea leaves too. All nearby hospitals have been eliminated. We did it. We finally managed to get rid of all those demonic-looking collie monsters, and the white beasts that showed up later.
Oh, good stuff. As I suspected, it would seem those white beasts and the collie are mortal enemies, given how viciously they attacked one another.
Indeed. Nor did the white beasts attempt to destroy any part of the town. It's all thanks to them that we were able to fend off the collie. We did have to eliminate them as well, given that they also tried to attack us.
And... Lot did this, huh? Well, now you've done it.
Glad to see you're okay. Should I?
You tell us what these things are. First, I figured these guys were from the other side of the mountain since they don't pray. I guess they really are just a bunch of Ulu who don't know anything about the collie. Either way, I don't want any part of this trouble. What's there to tell? If you want to know what's good for you, you'll get out of here as soon as...
Mister, are you guys okay? You are? It's astonishing. I'm so glad you're alright. I'm glad you're alright too, Asha. What a relief to see you're not hurt. Yeah, I'm okay, but Hans, well...
Aw, he has a little thing on his leg now.
I see he's trying his leg. Poor thing. Yeah, he got caught under a cabinet that fell down when our house started shaking. I'm sorry, Vahan.
God. Any value in a dog that can't run? This would, I think, be GMA in this case.
Yeah.
What happened? The collie are dead. Excuse me. And the sacred beasts?
There you are.
Who are you?
I'm Prakash, the town mayor. Are you travelers? Do you know anything about this disaster?
We do. The beasts attacked us, so we killed them.
3. Yep, there we go.
You what?
If you would like a full account, then call for your finest scribe. It would be such a waste for me to recount my exploits without someone present to record them.
What have you done? How could you have killed the very agents of our god that keep us safe?
We didn't have a choice. It was self-defense.
Agreed. There was no other way. What's more, they were not the only ones we killed. That's right, we also fought the creatures you call Kali. Please understand, we are only trying to protect your town.
Don't be ridiculous. There's nothing to understand. What you have done is unforgivable. It goes against every law of this world. Besides, the god's sacred beasts would never attack people without good reason. This is terrible. If we incur the god's wrath, if he thinks our town allowed or worse encouraged your vile deeds, we'll all be done for. Go away. Leave our town at once. You are no longer welcome in Biju.
Yeah, get out of here! Damn heretics will get us all killed!
Oh no. Could they be the ones those people have been hearing rumors about lately? Does make them going to suffer divine punishment? Well, this is unexpected. Looks like they might start throwing stones at any moment. Would you have us do, Master?
Let's get out of here for now.
I agree. It would be difficult to gain any more information under these circumstances. Besides, I think we should try to avoid trouble with the locals as much as we possibly can. Let's go start looking for somewhere to set up outside of town.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Alright, travelers.
Wide field.
Well, this is a fine how do you do. No sooner do you find a town than you get kicked out for fighting. You barely even have any intel to show for it. All you did was waste our precious time. First Russia, then Scandinavia and China, and now India. Why can't we ever catch a damn break?
Good grief. When you're examining a crime scene with a magnifying glass, Gordolf, do you focus on the strain on your on the stain on your pants before even considering the evidence?
Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying I have a stain on my finely ironed slacks?
Well, that too, but aside from that. Your uniform, well... Actually, no, it does have a spot on there. Of course it is. Any sailor worth their salt should keep their uniform white as snow. I had mine cleaned by the laundry type before we left. Laundry type? I do recall seeing a weird-looking captain running around base before.
Holmes? Do you mean that if we hope to find anything that might lead us to what we're seeking, we should be prepared to suffer a few setbacks at first?
Precisely! If you're too focused on your expense ledger, you'll miss the evidence that's right in front of you, my dear Watson.
You call me Watson, oh my gosh. Understood. I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
Gordo.
Damn it, that was my chance to be Watson. Curse my gentlemanly propensity to be acutely aware of my appearance. I knew that, of course. I was just, playing devil's advocate. A nervous, high-strung devil's advocate. It was, just a cunning ploy to elicit that reaction from Holmes. Yes, that's it.
Translation, you're full of crap.
Anyway, we need to find a place nearby where we can pitch camp, right? In that case, why don't you try asking the little bunny hiding in the tall grass behind you for a recommendation? Good idea. In that case, please don't hide in there, Asha. Can you come out where we can see you? You surprised me. Since we're already surprising her, I might as well introduce myself. I'm sure she can handle it. Hi there, Asha. My name's Da Vinci. I'm a friend of Chelvo's. I'm not actually there right now. I'm using something called a transmission to send my voice over through the air. There's also a detective here. He might pop in every now and then. Don't mind him. He's relatively harmless.
I'm only harmless when I have my void dust.
Holmes, we are not encouraging drug habits of children.
I can stop anytime I want!
Oh, we also have a commander who's really bad with kids. I'm having him sit this out whether he likes it or not. Oh, it's just one surprise after another. Travelers really can do amazing things, can't you?
The other townspeople are eager to see us leave. Why did you come after us?
It's just like Karna to get straight to the point. I was curious about that too, but still, Oh, well, I wanted to give you these, so thank you for saving us.
Oh, bananas. Thanks.
Oh, these are fine bananas indeed. You know, I used to feast on the bananas that Hanuman would pick for me all the time.
You didn't even need to look it up much.
Though there's another thing with banana leaves with him as well.
Anyway.
And I was looking for my own curiosity. They were jewels of the heavens, so delectable a single bite can make your cheek melt away in pleasure. But I can tell that these bananas are surely every good they're equal. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for these gifts, Asha. Anuma? You know, Hanuman, the monkey god? One of my closest allies? Can you even rid of him? Poor Hanuman, I guess him picking up carrying a whole mountain was enough to make you famous. You're in no position to be laughing at Lakshmana. Well, I seriously doubt you. The answer could be no, but let me ask you something just to make sure. Have you heard the name Rama before?
Just like, Rama? Freaking piano sting.
That's almost on par with the
Dang it, Mozart, not now!
Well, I'm sorry. I have to be the dramatic tension around here.
I like to imagine whenever that thing happens, it is just Mozart just like doing that.
What?
My name is Karna. I'm a warrior who once fought alongside the Kauravas, the descendants of King Kura, or Kuru. Have you heard my name before? I see. Well, that is no surprise. I still have a long way to go before I reach the heights of mastery I strive for. Don't be ridiculous, Karna. That's giving yourself far too little credit. It is no exaggeration to say that in the Indian from proper human history, there is not a single person alive who has not heard your names. That is how great your heroic deeds were. So if the people here have no familiarity with the myths of the past or the figures from well-known stories, that would mean that neither the sorry. I'm tongue twisting it for a second here.
Actually.
Mahabharata.
There we go.
Mahabharata, no. That would mean that neither the Mahabharata nor the Ramayana exist in this Lost Belt. Sorry about that, kind of getting tongue-tied. Alternatively, they may have existed in the past, but have since been forgotten.
It's sad to think that people of this day have never heard of my grand exploits. No, wait, does this mean we can't even be sure my exploits ever happened here? And if they didn't, does that mean neither I nor Sita existed in this lost film? Either way, if Asha hadn't heard of you, there's no point perusing this line of questioning either further. I think it's best we stick to questions she'll actually able to help us with, starting with our campsite. Asha, we're looking for a place where we can rest for the night. Can you think of any good spots? There's a cave near here where we used to play hide and seek. Anything that'll give us shelter from the wind and rain sounds great. Would you show us the way there? Follow me.
Alright, cool.
We can ask them about the really important things like the you-know-what over there. Right, Asha, can I ask you something? Do you know anything about that giant tree way off in the distance? Oh, you're curious about it too, huh? So am I. It was just spring about nowhere a while ago. Is that all you know about it? Oh yeah, I mean it's really, really far away, you know. Most of the people in town say it probably has something to do with our god, like God Sky Boulder. That's actually what I just wanted to ask you about next. Is God Sky Boulder what you call that Norse cube floating over the mountains?
God's Sky Boulder. Huh.
Now that we know its name, the next question is obvious. What exactly is it?
That's a fine question. God Sky Boulder is God Sky Boulder. It's been around forever, just like the sun and the ground. Everyone knows that. I don't know how else to say. God Skyboulder's God Skyboulder, just like the sun is the sun. I'm positive my father would say the same thing.
Then why is it called God Skyboulder? Not that I can imagine how humans could have made such a thing.
I think it's because our God made it, or maybe it's because he lives there. Sorry, I really don't know. Nobody's ever gotten near it.
Oh? And why is that? Speaking for myself, I find it an enormously compelling object of interest. Most mysterious indeed. It is without a doubt worth investigating.
I just know it's got something to do with our God, so people are supposed to stay away. Besides, they also say there's lots of Kali around there trying to kill our God. It's not just me, my father and my aunt. Nobody in the issue ever goes there. Oh, yeah, we have to ask about the Kali, too. From what we saw, I'm guessing their attack happens pretty regularly, but... Oh, you mean the Kali never came to your town, travelers? That's surprising. It must be somewhere really far away, especially you can't even see God's Skyboulder from there. But yeah, of course the Kali show up a lot whenever Yuga's about to end. And since tomorrow's Kali Yuga, I bet there'll be way more tomorrow than there were today. What are you talking about? You don't know, but everybody knew lots of Kali showed up on Kali Yuga, since the last Yuga and all. That's why everyone always locks their doors even tighter and prays even harder than they did. Oh, God.
Divapara.
Divapara. Yuga today.
Let me double check on that one.
I see
Divapara. That my bad.
Divapara. Divapara. Yuga today. Question: what will happen when tomorrow is over? You travelers don't even know that? That's very surprising. Everyone knows that. Even the Han. I mean, it's something as natural as the sun giving us daylight, you know?
Wait, hold on.
I'm so glad I have tea.
Sorry, I'm just taking a second to look at something. Sorry. Okay.
Let's just say we're from somewhere really off the beaten path. A place pretty much at the ends of the earth where everything from society to history is fundamentally different.
Yeah, I don't think that she's gonna understand that one, Da Vinci.
So please tell us, Asha, what happens when Kali Yuga is over? Well, you're gonna pass the judgment and everyone dies, of course.
Oh boy.
But then if our God decides you're worthy, he brings you back to life, and the first happy Yuga starts all over again.
Said with like the most innocent smile. We're all gonna die.
Everyone's gonna die.
Oh, is this the scene?
I believe so.
Right.
Get your prop ready there.
Yeah, Bobo.
I mean, these bananas are really good, but
I'm not sure how you were fair, so. In this world, first year lasts for 4 days, the second lasts for 3 days, a third lasts for 2 days, and the final Kali Yuga comes on the final day. You know, am I right?
Uh-huh. Oh, but they say each Yuga used to be way longer a long time ago. Once upon a time, I heard there used to be things called years and months during each Yuga. Oh, I don't know what they are. I mean, that's why my father always says it's a lot harder to keep track of things like anniversaries now. I wonder if he remembers that's my 4,000th day of being alive is coming up soon.
then when Kali Yuga's over, you said a god will then pass judgment, killing everyone and bringing them back to life, right?
An actual god. I guess it's certainly not impossible, especially given what we saw in Scandinavia, but still. So this judgment is just a normal part of life here? Mm-hmm. As long as you pray and everything stays the same. Just like how the sun rises when it's morning.
would seem our shared perceptions of normality and fundamentality are misaligned. Are fundamentally misaligned. This could be quite difficult. After all, it only makes sense that someone who perceives such abnormalities to be entirely mundane would find them unremarkable.
We'll just have to take each difference one at a time. Let's start with something simple. In this case, I think it's gotta be defining exactly what a yuga is. Yuga might be a pretty well-known concept, but it's still important to make sure we're all on the same page. Plus, talking about it might help us figure out what the differences are between our concept and Asha's concept. First up, does everyone here know what yugas are in our world?
Hang on a second. I don't, so I was hoping you could fill me in. For context, I also have a banana.
Everyone get your bananas.
Will sunflower seeds work?
Sure.
Enough.
Good enough. Put that away for a second since Captain technically isn't there. Yugas are a Hindu concept that says the world is always cycling between 4 distinct periods. In order, these periods are called the Krita, or... sorry. Yeah, I got that right. Krita, the Satya Yuga, Trita Yuga, and Devapura Yuga, and Kali Yuga. When the Kali Yuga draws near, law and order and normality cease to exist, and the world starts to fill up with evil instead. Then, when the Kali Yuga ends, the gods are said to destroy the world, remake it, and let a new Krita Yuga begin all over again.
Thank you.
Not at all. I just overheard something with which I was familiar, so I thought I would chime in. That's all I had to say. Bye.
Yeah. Now I see. If your true meaning is what I think is, then you would have some ties to India. So you guys do know what yugas are. Well, that's a surprise. Oh, I get it.
Present for you.
You're so
Whoa! Sorry.
Ooh,
Skeletor with the 10 gift subs. Thank you, Skeletor.
that's a lot of people.
That's quite a view, actually.
Oh, there's one name I recognize from Shark's channel.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. Thank you so much, Skeletor.
This truly is difficult. There are some concepts we share and some we don't. Both kinds are mixed together with the same word.
At least it seems we're mostly on the same page when it comes to our enemy. I also knew that devils called Kali appeared during the Kali Yuga to plunge the world into chaos.
Sure, but according to Asha there, today is only supposed to be the third. Devapura Yuga.
There you go.
Oh, the Kali are always around. There's just more of them depending on the Yuga. You almost never see one during the
Krita.
Krita. I have it pulled over. I was just...
the Krita Yuga, and there's so many during Kali Yuga, it's so shocking. If the Kali kills you, you won't be able to receive God's blessing anymore. That's why everyone prays so hard. So it's not getting killed to worry about, but what... That means does she mean in a religious sense?
Whatever the reasons for it, it sounds like there will be even more Kali attacking that town tomorrow. What would you have us do, Master? Well, hang on. You have to stand by and do nothing.
I agree. They values human life above all else, even if that notion flies in the face of how this law spell works.
Frankly. Yeah, good. Sometimes there are things you just have to do, regardless of whether people hate you or you cast stones. In my case, those things come so naturally to me that it's hardly ever a choice. My body just ends up moving on its own. And that's what happened back when I went my game. Greedy.
Oh, Hazel, thank you for the 100 bits.
Uh-oh. I think I know what Hazel's doing. Oh no. I see it.
Might be leaving the station in a couple minutes, depending on if someone else chimes in. That man I failed to save earlier. His dying scream was not one of a man who had made peace with his fate. The system seems evil to me. I may no longer be able to save that man's life, but I can at least make sure the tragedy never happens again.
And we are decided. We fight. I suppose it may not be familiar to us, yet for some reason this land of India feels familiar to me. Perhaps some of me originates here, as well as China. Can't say why, but I will not hesitate to protect these innocent people. Now we know what is happening. Tomorrow I will work even harder than ever. Do not worry, Master Match.
We've only just begun our investigation of this Lost Boat's Tree of Emptiness, to say nothing of this god's sky boulder object. Given that those townspeople could help shed some light on these things, I would certainly hate to lose any of them. It would be dangerous to help them, but I won't stop you from doing so.
People also calls my creature sacred beast. Said they were Clark's agents.
Oh, Skelter, thank you for the other gift sub to Cody.
But there were no else than to handle the colony. That's before they would try to attack us too. We can't count on them.
Okay, Rama, how many bananas have you eaten so far?
Yes.
Again, Skelter, thank you for the gift sub, or gift subs.
We're going to be fighting more college tomorrow. I'd like to find another fighter or two sharper range while we have a chance. Okay, seriously, Rama, how many bananas have you actually eaten? Enough. And given what happened earlier, I don't think we can expect the town people to help us out. What is it, Aja? Is something the matter? Oh, I was trying to see I'm back in town. I actually peeked out the window and saw you guys fighting. Oh, I was still praying to our god the whole time, so I think I should be totally fine. You are amazing. I've never seen people go hunting before, and you guys didn't move anything like that. It's like you weren't even human. Then I saw you talking to other people far away after I followed you and get surprised all over again. So I was just wondering, are you guys maybe gods, but not the god?
Gods who aren't the god? That's an interesting way to put it.
Well, you know, there's only one god, and you're obviously not him, right? That's all I meant. I hope I didn't say anything weird.
So the one we're fighting here is Yahweh, got it.
Only one god? But India's pantheon is known for being one of the largest in all mythology. Yes, I did say something weird. I'm sorry. There's been rumors going around of people who seem like gods but aren't the gods, so I just thought...
As a matter of fact, Karna here is practically a god. Actually, no, let me phrase that. As a matter of fact, Karna here is practically a god. That is not true, Master. I am the son of Surya, god of the sun. I am certainly no god myself.
I knew it! I never heard of any god by that name before. That's so amazing! Shocked!
Wanna play a drinking game? Take a shot every time that she says, I'm shocked.
Or I'm surprised.
That's just gonna get everyone alcohol poisoning at this rate. As if, I just thought we were beings for rumors. That would of course mean people are talking about other beings like us. Sure it does. And whoever it is, very likely to be a servant. I knew there had to be at least one in this lost bell. See, one of them came to the shoe not too long ago. I think they're staying on a mountain near here.
Oh, 9, thank you for the 100 bits.
Oh, there
Oh, there it goes.
Are they a friend of yours?
Hype train incoming. Wait, they came... Hold on. I gotta do this again, god dang it. They came to your town?
Uh-huh. It was during the last Krita Yoga. I didn't get to meet them myself.
Yes, thank you for 100 bits.
But they only took a little look around town before they went into the mountain. You sure they were not just a passing traveler?
I guess they could have been, but I heard they're just really funny. And they even said they were a god. Could be a divine spirit. And if they were alone, they could also be a rogue, sure. I'm sure they would be a powerful addition to our forces if we can convince them to help us.
Indeed. There's still a lot we don't know about this world's Hyugas. But we can focus on them once we have dealt with this immediate threat. Now that we've eaten our fill of these delicious bananas, I say we try looking for this being next, although I still have more.
I'm sorry. Wish I could show you the way, but I need to get home before I get in trouble. That's okay. You can just tell us where to look. I'm sure we can find this place ourselves. I'm actually more worried about you, Asha. I know your town isn't too far from here, and I still don't like the idea of making you walk home by yourself. I'll be fine. Kali only just showed up, and I can always count on the hunt to... Oh, I didn't really get insured. It's okay. I can be home in no time as long as I run all the way there.
Master. Do you mind quietly making sure she gets back safe? Very well. You have my word that no harm will come to her.
Okay, and see you later, Mr. God.
Hold on. One last go around with this.
Mm-hmm.
Just Mister is fine. See you later.
Hi. I'm so surprised when she came over after us just to say thanks. Especially how given the adults there reacted. She was so sweet. We learned a lot of useful things from her. Definitely, that's the same Ash. I'm sure you're already aware of this, but... I know. Once we destroy this lost belt... she and Ashire disappear. Just like the people we met in the other ones.
You're kind of mumbling a little bit. From a purely pragmatic perspective, maintaining good relations with the locals will facilitate information gathering efforts. I suppose the only advice I can give is not to think about it too much. Alright, Holmes is right. Let's just be ourselves and not worry about it for now. Let's thank you for 200 bits!
Goodness gracious, Hazel.
Okay, Master.
I did as you instructed, Master. Asha walked straight back to town and is now safe and sound in her home.
Thanks, Karna.
Thumbs up. I kept an eye out for Kali on the way there and back, but didn't see a single one. However, I can't say for certain whether that is because they had just attacked, as Asha said, or if it was merely a coincidence.
Partially, there's still a great deal we do not know about these beings. Well, it won't be long before we face them again. That gives us all the more reason to bolster our forces. It's like to be off to this mountain where the god lives. I wonder what sort of god they are. Certainly be nice turns out to be one we know to save time. Of course, I'm hoping it'll be Sita. She's the avatar of Lakshmi, so she can easily have been the Beatrice god in her own right. Maybe?
I hope you'll be reunited with her as well, but there is no guarantee the servant will even be an Indian god. They are just as likely to turn out to be a god from the west or some other region altogether. The odds of our encountering a familiar face are really quite slim. Just try not to get your hopes up too high.
What? Sita?
One day, my friend, one day. Of that I am certain.
I do remember, what was her name? The servant you encountered.
Oh, yes, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you for the gift sub to pay back to
Oh.
Hypes. The hype train unfortunately did not make it in time. Again, thank you guys for the gift subs and the bits from it. I appreciate it, you guys.
I did hear from, what was her name? Musashi? And apparently there's one, like, world that Sita exists. And that maybe I could see her.
Okay, I will be, again, I apologize that I know it's only been like an hour or so, but I'll be right back again. So, quick intermission, and I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
delish. I figured out how many gigabytes all 3 of those content packs are for Destiny 2.
How big is it? Also, I'm back.
Welcome back.
So the second one is also 26 gigabytes.
Jesus.
So altogether, it's a little over 71 gigabytes.
That's and you want to do you want to know what the worst part about that is? That's still not bigger than freaking Security Breach.
Yep.
That's the worst part.
It's still big though.
It's big. Don't get me wrong. Just not as big as that freaking like waste of space.
Yeah, and it's also not even including the fact that that's just add-on stuff.
Right.
That's not even the game itself and everything else that I've already downloaded.
You know, we live in a really messed up time where 3 add-ons take up that much space, as well as like a game like that. Ugh, unfortunate. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get visuals back up so everybody can see things again. Boop. Again, I know the hype train didn't quite go all the way through, but again, I do appreciate everybody who was with gift subs and the bits tonight. Thank you guys. Always appreciate you. Alright, a mountain where one encounters God. Let us begin. Oh! What that was about. Anyway.
This is the mountain Usher told us about. So far, I'm not seeing the god we're looking for.
I don't detect a servant reading from here. What can you sense? Oh, there are Morthra?
Welcome to the channel.
How you doing? I think I can sense something akin to divine aura, but it's too faint to be certain.
Sense it too. At least we would seem to be on the right track. Let's keep looking. No. Hey, is anyone here? Nita! It's me, Raman! Please?
How do you do in this fine time zone? Yes, exactly. Is anybody there? There? Oh, and thank you for the follow. Hope you enjoy your stay.
And thank you for the compliment. This is getting us nowhere. We should split up and cover more ground. That's very true. I can fly by using my windfire wheels. I will search from the skies above. Please don't go off too far, Nasia. We don't know what else there might be here. You think she'll be okay? Don't worry, she's a venerated hero of her own right. I'm sure she'll be fine. She said it herself, she's somewhat similar to us in certain ways. I do agree that her tendency to rush headlong toward girls with a single-minded earnestness has the potential to cause trouble. But I doubt there are few who can keep up with sheer air.
Besides, it seems we have our own things to worry about.
Yeah, I figured there'd be a monster or two hanging around the mountain where that god lives. Thank you guys for taking these things out quickly so you can get back to looking for them, please.
On it! Alright. More berserkers. Oh, and a rider in here as well. Interesting. Oh, right. I remember somebody wanted me to bring along a...
Shiki.
Shiki-boo. I don't see anyone, though, unfortunately. How do you get that MASH costume? It's a part of the main story. It's something you get along the way, way later in the story, as far as story is concerned. It's a cool outfit. It's a cool outfit. Oh. Wait. Hang on, I forget. Was it Shiki-boo or was it...
It was Shiki-boo.
Yeah, okay.
Here, I can actually see here.
Yeah, it was Shiki-boo. Okay. Gonna be a bit difficult with the rider in tow, but this should be fine. I could could also switch out something else. Maybe get an assassin here. Where is should I go for? No, let's bring Ushi along. Why not? Let's get odd. Seems a little messy, but
Yeah. It says even here, Sailor what Shiki Boo.
nice. Where is Trace of Christmas? Are you? There you are.
It's yeah. What to say? Look for the cats.
Gonna quickly modify the team here. You can come along as well. And the Gong doesn't really need to be here anymore, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I love that noise. You know, let's bring Kotaro.
Oh, we haven't seen him in a hot while.
Yeah. This should work. This will be a 10 messy, but it should be fine.
Welcome to Discord, Martha.
Ah, yeah, welcome to Discord. Hope you enjoy your stay.
We have all kinds of channels and all kinds of shenanigans about.
It's happening all over the place. Yeah, let me just go ahead and get ourselves some stars to play with. Okay, there's demonic bonus. This was well, it's Demon Lore, so it would probably give me the bonus too. Yeah, sure. God. Literal music to my ears. Or still alive. Not for long. That hand's coming in my hand. Actually, here, we'll do this instead. Alright, let's see if I get the attack boost. Hey, nice.
Hey. Oh no. I think that particular swarm of bees is going dead. Oh, sorry, no, they're not bees, they're grasshoppers.
Why are they? Those are very. I don't think those are grasshoppers.
You're right, they look more like locusts.
I know coppers.
I know, I'm just gonna casually finish my banana leg.
Yeah, that's why they quit BRB, because I wanted to get rid of the freaking husk. I didn't want it sitting on my desk the whole time. Go get a Mushi. Nice. Complete and get some mana brain from that. Nice. Have you disposed of all the hostiles then?
Yes, it was no problem. I don't think the Ordinax has ever been in better shape. It's so much more stable now than it was before we came to the Wandering Sea. Not only does it have properly outfitted equipment now, but having both Da Vinci and Sion fine-tune it. This one proverb I heard a while ago,
giving an ogre a heavy weapon?
Something's not quite right. Also, I'm pretty sure that's not how it goes.
I knew it. I thought it sounded strange as soon as the words left in my mouth.
Well, I meant that, but also something else is going on.
Toki's the one who taught me that expression, but I think something might have gotten lost in translation.
Oh, hold on. Skeletor. Stop.
Yes. Hail hydrates!
Hail hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Japanese sayings either. I was speaking about our enemies. They are indeed all gone, but there's still something else here. Something whose intentions I cannot discern.
Huh?
There. Show yourself.
Show. Just cleared to show.
Oh my lord, he's here.
He's here. Human with splendidly beautiful body.
A body with perfect symmetry, as if it were the epitome of genderless beauty. Lips curved in an indomitable but amicable smile, even after Karna spear sailed past them. Gazing at their side obliterating, a boulder with sufficient force to impale 100 frail-bodied humans. They were smiling. Oh. They were smiling with the same casual ease of a person enjoying a gentle breeze in an outdoor cafe. Their face betraying not so much as a hint of fear or panic. It was as though they had not just had not a care in the world, even after being millimeters from death. Take it away, Jim.
My. Since when is the serpent supposed to go tossing spears at fragile little humans?
Were you a normal human, I would indeed be deeply ashamed. But I sensed such an attack would not nearly be enough to end you. Now that I have seen you for myself, I'm even more confident in that assertion.
Well, doesn't that just smack of a bit of ex post facto covering your derriere, honey? I thought I did myself pretty well, so imagine my surprise when that spear went whizzing past me. Oh well, that's what I get for not being more careful about investigating strange noises.
You're Pepperoncino!
Hey, long time no see, Mashi. Oh my, you're so much more expressive now than you were last time I saw you. Well, I think that's just peachy.
Ah, here we go.
Lord, that face at the end, though. What was that?
Ah!
Oh. Oh, yeah, I know what this is.
Technically, this is, I think, you.
Mm-hmm. The moment I saw that thing soaring across the sky, I was overcome with emotion. Rolling as foul and putrid as excrement, rage that so high could blind me, and above all, something I could ignore no matter how hard I tried. Which is why, destroy it no matter what. What? Who are...
Navia Pepperoncino. You're one of the cryptors.
What? Oh, is that a typo?
Absatively.
Absative.
It took me a second too. It took me a second.
No, it's a combination of absolutely and positively.
Absolutely, positively, dearie.
Absolutely. And you must be Caldea's new director. As for you, why, you must be Mashi's master Chovo.
You would say creator, weren't you?
Yes.
Ah, I thought you'd be a lot older than this. I mean, he's not wrong, but...
Dot, dot, dot.
Oh my, I understand your trepidation, but it just breaks my heart to see you won't even give me the time of day.
If you're here, Pepperoncino, then you must be the cryptor in charge of this lost spell, aren't you?
Yes, I suppose I am.
So, you're here to stop us from cutting down the tree of emptiness, aren't you?
Right! Almost slipped my mind. Before we do that whole song and dance, there's something I really should warn you about.
Oh, and what is that?
Don't get me wrong, I'm perfectly happy to sit here and chat with you all you like. But maybe you should be a little more concerned about your absent friend right now.
What are you talking about?
What? What is... Look out! Something's plummeting right towards you!
Ah, they're servants. One of them ninjas, but her final sight is dropping like a rock. And no one... What in the world is this? Nisha, Master Sanja, but her body is... I failed. I was careless. Master, I'm sorry. This is beyond terrible. It'd be one thing if I had only lost, but this... Master, I'm so sorry. I wish I could have helped you more. Keep your guard up, Master. We can mourn for her later. Plans are clear when whoever killed Nasia is about to step out.
Say goodbye to Nasia and hello to Nasia.
Yeah. I see we have a regional variant. This is the This is the
Indian variant.
This is the Indian. This is the lost belt Nasia.
Nasia?
I'm afraid not. Yes, that is Nasia, but she is not the one we know. I will be direct. The Nasia you... A shiny Nasia. Sorry, I had to grimace when I noticed that one. The Nasia you know is gone. Nasia you know is gone. Sorry, brain's like freaking out for some reason.
I'm trying to imagine a shiny Nasia like it's a Pokemon.
Nasia you know is gone. The spirit origin has completely vanished. The Nasia before you now is not the one summoned at the Wandering Sea, nor the one who was once present in Chaldea. I suspect that servant there was a different side of Nasia, and an enemy who serves this lost belt.
Report. Individual exercise complete. Hereby returning my duty as a Divine General. Eliminating foreign elements. Commencing operation.
I have a report to make. That tall man is gone. You can see him leave.
That's concerning too, but we don't have time to go looking for him now. I don't know if this Nasia is her servant or not. Her charge just couldn't be more hostile. We'll have to focus on dealing with her first. Here she comes, Master Mash. I know how you feel right now, but you need to get your heads in the game. Alright, disengaging or next limiters. Ready for full-powered anti-servant combat.
I'm sorry, but the way that this Nasia looks, she looks like those like trashy white girls from anime. Because she's got the like deep spray on tan and the bleach blonde hair.
They have a certain name for them. I can't remember what it is though.
But yeah, you know the type that I'm talking about. The ones that are always with like the scumbag boyfriends.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I kind of want to bring along... There you are. Alright. Yes, it's fine. Let's go. Not that I think it actually matters in this particular fight, but this team should be okay for this. Great hand game, thanks. I guess. Doesn't matter at this point.
There it is. In fact, it's Gyaru. Cool. I couldn't remember the term, the exact term, but yeah, Gyaru.
Alright, time to get ourselves some protection from this berserker nonsense. Alright. Ooh, Brave Chain, nice. I don't have a lot of stars, unfortunately, although I could probably fix that with a bit of naggling. We'll do that. Won't matter.
That's it. I thought that looked like it was Mike play, because Mike plays at 90, but that one doesn't have too many throws on it. It's being hard. Or, yeah, no, it's good.
Correct, I can just do this, right? There we go. Scotty.
Scotty, on the other hand, does not have guts.
More stars, please. Oh, okay. Shit. Okay, doesn't have strength up. It's gonna nuke the entire field except for Enkidu, because of invisibility. He's fine.
I just heard that grunt from Leo.
Sorry, Leo. Alright, what are we looking at here? I can target this. There we go. I can wait on using Enkidu for just a little bit longer.
charge at least.
Good enough.
Oh, and you got the quick one. Nice.
Actually, I should have used the taunt in that case. Oh well, it's fine. We'll probably end up finishing this here anyway. Yep, that's done.
Good Clay.
Good Clay.
Good Clay. She's strong.
Battle's proceeding smoothly. Victory is ahead. You might be a little more talkative than our nature, but you don't understand your situation at all. Denied. There is nothing wrong with my analytical capabilities. Air priority recalled. Disengaging for battle. She got away. Was she acting on her master's orders?
I can't tell, but the Nesha was a formidable fighter indeed. I sense that she is optimized for this land. If we have kept at it, one of us would have ended up resorting to releasing the full power of the Venerable Phantasm. Perhaps we should be grateful that this mountain, where the god we were looking for resides, still stands intact. Mash. Look, I know. It sucks. I know what's going on. It's a lot like the tides. No matter how much you plead or how much you pray, there are some things you can't stop. You just have to accept them. I got to know Nesha pretty decently myself after I met her on the Wandering Sea. It's true that I was interested in how her mechanical body was made with sage arts, but I also felt like we were similar somehow. So I know that Nesha was a great warrior and an upstanding servant. I'm sure she was prepared for this, much more than she needed to be. She would never want you guys to be so sad about her that that you stopped moving forward.
Yes, you're right.
Let me just ask you one thing. Did she die in vain? Not at all. The enemy's sheer mobility was like few things I'd ever seen. If Nesha hadn't come in contact with them first, they might have taken us all by surprise and critically injured all of us. If that's what you think, Hero Benefaction, then it must be true. Then when we get back, and I make my report to Sion, I'll tell her Nesha fulfilled her duties admirably.
I'm sorry. I'm okay now. Let's get back to work.
Agreed. Now's the time for you to worry about this other Nesha. We'll handle that analysis on our end. On our end. Although, one thing I did notice in your battle just now was that she did not appear to be subject to this world's estrangement effect, as you are. So we may be able to learn more about that effort by focusing our efforts there.
The world's estrangement effect. That's a good way to put it. Doesn't feel like we are truly in this world, even though we clearly are. Anyway, we don't have answers for you anytime soon, so you guys keep going with your good god searching for now. We'll do just that. Come now, cheer up. King's orders. Moving around won't get us nowhere. Sometimes you have to say goodbye before you're ready, and others, you get to meet someone you've never expected to. That's life. Now, come on, Master. We have a new god to meet.
Okay, let's go find them.
Yes, Master. Promise to give the search my full effort.
So wait, comments. Are we all in agreement that Nesha lost to that other Nesha because our Nesha was running like 98 and this one was running like Windows 8 or something?
Yes.
Oh no.
No, it's more like Windows 96 at least. Oh, I love question marks. They're great.
Yeah, thankfully I already kind of know what to expect with this fight, so at least a little bit.
Oh, it's not as bad. All that aside, where is this god? I can sense something nearby, but I don't see them anywhere. Actually, I'm a sweat for walking around so much. Maybe we'll take a little break here. Strike to make a fine seat. There we go. What in the world is that? It sounds like a pig squealing for its life. I can't take more. The boy's beautiful body coming in direct contact with me. I mean, never mind that. Testing. How dare you, humans? Bow your heads before me. You are in the presence of a god. God. Leave here at once if you value your lives. Do that, and I promise your family will live in health and your business will prosper.
A perverted rock, let's chuck it in the river. Translation? Alright, kill with fire!
What was that? What a cheeky little animal you are, daring to challenge a god. Yes, I can understand. You know why? Because I'm a god. Very well then, if it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll have. Now leave all your money behind as an offering.
Alright then. Alright, well.
Sorry, offering.
Let's see. Actually, no, I'll just do it like this.
Tornado into Trouter.
Alright, where is... Let's just go ahead and punch this thing a little bit, shall we?
Yeah, a little bit of punching.
Yeah, punching seems like it'll work. And as an aside, maybe I can bring Estrella in the back.
Yeah, we have Estrella.
I have Estrella, but I probably could just arts loop this thing to death, honestly.
Do it. I encourage the arts looping.
Next time.
Aww.
Next time.
Let's be honest, the statue probably deserves to be arts looped. Considering the statue seems to be more of a fan of Buster looping.
Well, the thing is, Estrella doesn't get a modifier because it's not tagged as evil or anything like that.
Fucking statue. I had the knuckle crack every time.
最高のカード。何事もやればできるさ。激しくいくのね。
Arthur, just punch it in the river.
Congratulations. One turn to the statue.
Good job, Martha.
Worship me, praise me, spoil me. Run to the convenience store and get me more ice cream so I can concentrate on grinding. Hey, Karna, this divine aura, it can't be what I think it is, can it?
Don't move, Rama. This won't take long.
What? Ah! Watch it! Do you have any idea what close to a shave that was? Your spearhead was a few centimeters away from making yucky shish kebab out of my flesh. Karna? What are you doing here?
I was just about to ask you that. What are you doing here?
Dun dun dun!
Alright, fine. We'll do it. We'll try doing a looping strat.
Karna.
No. Or not. I guess we're bringing Karna along.
Karna, no. Wait, don't we have our own statue god?
No, not in this, unfortunately.
Oh, darn it. Nyan, if you hadn't deployed Karna, I was about to say, throw my statue god at this one.
Hang on, if we're doing that, I should probably get a... I know how this thing works. I want to make sure I have a business side. And where is... Alright. This should work.
What are you doing here?
I was just about to ask you that. What are you doing here? You two know each other? Oh. Did I say something? What a strange feeling. I have no idea why I said I was just about to ask you that, or what it was I wanted to say afterwards. This is all very unclear, even to me. I've never met this woman before. Yet... Why do I smell... Master, what is that one beverage called that a lot of the, people that play those games tend to drink very frequently?
Monster Energy?
That one, yes. Why do I smell that?
Salvo's not anywhere nearby.
Well, actually, no, it wasn't that one. It was something else. It was a green... It was green.
Mountain Dew.
That one! Thank you.
I haven't drank Mountain Dew in a long time, and you know it, Karna.
You're right. You're more of a Monster Energy person anyway. Why would I know that? I don't know how to describe this feeling. It feels as though I've just met the light of my life. And yet I've just encountered my big sister. And like I've just encountered my life coach. And like I've just encountered someone who needs to be cared for and tended to all at once. I'm afraid I don't know how else to put it.
So that's what's going on. I guess that makes sense. It's Karna's not a god. So he just vaguely remembers his former masters from their worlds. Oh well, can't help that now. Since nobody has to know as long as I keep my mouth shut. So you feel like we're friends even though we've never met before, What do you know? That's more or less how I feel too. I get the feeling a lot of stuff's happened, but I can't seem to remember any of it clearly. Hey, doesn't this remind you of one of those RPGs where the protagonist got an amnesia and tortured past? I wonder when we'll get to the cutscene where I awaken to my hidden power. Not that waking up is really all that high on my to-do list, really. Personally, I prefer to hang out in the starter village, wait for someone else to defeat the final boss.
I just noticed that, her mouth has like a little curve thing you would see on like a freaking like hamster.
Yep.
I just noticed that.
Yep.
I never noticed it because I couldn't really tell. But
She is literally making the cat face.
that is adorable.
She's full on going,
:3.
She is :3 all of the way.
I never noticed that.
I see you're a very unique person.
Wait, there is one thing I know for sure. You're human. But then, how are you cloaked in that divine aura?
Oh, that. Sorry, Karna, you got it all wrong. Guess even your vaunted sight makes it all the way to see the truth of the matter this time. Me? Human? Perish the thought. I'll have you know I'm one of the best known and most popular gods in the whole world. Just call me Ganesha.
Pardon?
Oh. Hey, which one of you just called me Indian mythology sideshow act?
I think that might have been Foe.
Look, I can understand why you do a double take at a gal with an elephant for a head, but my fame and divinity are the real deal. So show me the respect I deserve, damn it. of course, a respected nation, I can more or less tell that your divine aura is genuine. And then there's other where I could be further from the divine.
Yes, that's exactly it, Rama. I'm impressed. It only took me a moment to see through this being's true nature.
Hey, you don't gotta be that impressed.
From what you have said, the young lady appears to be a pseudo-servant with the divine spirit Ganesha in her as her core. Jesus. Ganesha is known for many things, including wisdom, wealth, prosperity, fortune, business, and all the removal of obstacles. But she's not related to Void, though, so I don't really care.
Gillian has his fair share of divine spirit servants of all kinds. This one looks more like its vessel than the spirit inhabiting it. Think, what's his name? Waver! One of the divine spirits sent heroic one. I definitely heard the name Ganesha before. I think I at least know the essentials about him. His elven head is probably his most famous aspect, and he also said to be the son of Shiva's wife, Parvati. That'd be a funny interaction. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that reaction before. It's too bad Parvati's not here with us. And you could have had a nice mother-child reunion. Yeah, she's around too. Oh, not right now. I was just speaking hypothetically. Do you not wish to see her? Well, it's not like I mind or anything. I just really don't care for the way she starts out whatever she's thinking. Well, I'm at it. Would I have killed her to give birth to me in a normal way? As for my old Pan, well... He's the guy who cut off my head and figured everything would be fine if he just stuck an elephant in its place. So I'm not sure I really know what to say if I ran into him now. Basically, even I, Ganesha, might start freaking out a bit with my parents right here. Though I do still respect them, I think. That sounds complicated.
I've had just about enough of this. Well done on finding a divine spirit servant, but you didn't come all this way to waste time on a meaningless drivel.
Who's this sorry. Short, stout, old guy.
You were about to say fat, weren't you?
Well, I'm a god, so I figure I show some mercy, not just to our meeting.
Is that so? Well, how bloody kind of you. Frankly, you're the last one here who should be commenting on my physique.
Does this mean you now have a friend with whom you can discuss fitness? This may be cause for celebration.
Damn, Corna's being savage.
I don't think he was trying to be either. I think it was just a genuine response.
No, but it was still savage. What are you talking about? I don't want to celebrate anything like that.
At any rate, that man is something like the supervisor of my current master, Chovo.
Damn right I am. I'm not just a noble with a bit of extra girth. I'm the leader of this entire operation. You're a rogue servant, are you not? Then be a good lass and help us out.
You make me work. Arpash, Ninja Vanish.
Ninja Vanish!
She went back inside the statue. We need all the help we can get to keep the nearby village safe. Especially now that we just lost one of our most capable allies. Hang on, I have an idea. Sounds like you guys have it rough. I'm sorry I can't help. If you need someone to help you better try some other god. Honestly, I don't want to fight even a little bit. I just gotta hang out here and keep enjoying my sweet, sweet shining life. It's actually way more comfortable in here than it looks. That cushioning outdoors, and of course it's fully air conditioning. I can even manifest handheld game consoles here thanks to my mysterious godly powers of wealth. There's something like a good roguelike for killing time. I could play those for hours on end.
Amen, sister.
Amen. She is stubborn. I know from experience how hard it can be to get her to act. At least I think I do. Master, would you happen to know if there are any stores around here that sell Swiss rolls?
Why Swiss rolls?
I was speaking figuratively. I only meant that I have some idea of how to handle her.
Got a way to convince her to help us? Go for it.
Understood. Then I will drag her out of there by force.
It's not the most diplomatic solution, but for some reason I get the sense we would actually be doing it.
Indeed. That's how we usually handle gods who refuse to listen to reason. Oh, worry, my first will always be discussion. I'm warning you, I only search what drives the rest of my son in life. This is a seriously bad day.
It's so hard for me to believe she's a god when she says things like that, but we can't afford to back down now. I'll help Karna try to get her outside as peacefully as possible.
You fools! Our early marriage was just a demo. Now witness Ganesha's full power!
Uh-huh. Sure.
I think I found a trick for the statue.
Mind you talk a little louder when you're doing that, though.
You want me to scream my life? I swear to God I will.
Maybe get a little close to the mic just so it's a little clear, so you're a little bit clearer at the very least.
How about this?
That works.
Oh God.
Probably should run with support instead of just bringing. Yeah, probably should run support. Oh well.
I mean, there is one good thing, right? Is the quick arc monster down is not that bad. It's only 10%.
It's not that big a deal, but it can't. But it, I think it does get worse later. Anyway.
Actually, looks like it gets better as it goes on. At least the debuff does.
All right, we go again. Fire the beams. Buster chain, go!
That was almost enough breaker bar.
I love the animations. It's great.
It's so good. I love her.
Don't think she's going to.
Oh no, she does. I looked at it.
No, I just didn't think she was going to charge immediately. Alright, go ahead and just fire that off. March down.
Hey, Mush. Check your DMs.
Oh God, you just flooded them, didn't you?
Okay. That wouldn't help me at all either. What's the hand looking like? It's just okay.
Ooh, nice. That's gonna take up. That's not as big of a game. But...
Okay. I can do this.
つまらんお望みのままに神々の王の
Quick throw back into Ria's distractor.
絶滅とはこれこの一つし
What flavor though?
刮目しろやり尽くせわさび
Obviously the best flavor.
ぜひなし罠だ
Which one is that?
そうだ
Nacho cheese. Why?
Okay, there was a right
Because
answer.
it's
There was a
nacho
right answer to that
cheese.
question, and that was correct.
You know why it's nacho? Because it's nacho.
乱暴だな君は
NP every time.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's a damage resistance thing I have. Hit base or is it just a just resistance to all attacks? Great. My favorite.
Ooh, that's beefy.
Well, thankfully I have this.
こうしなくちゃわからないよね
何何事も
How do you like having a 75%?
乗ってきたわよ鋭く激しく重くいくのね
Thank.
Of course, Martha can just turn her into oblivion.
Oh, thank you. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. There. No more MP gauge for you. Well, I can at least do a little bit of arts farming. Just for a bit more damage boosting before I fire off another rushing shot. Good.
Sir Wilden, yes. The answer to that question is yes.
いじった方がいいんじゃないか細かすぎると思う命令問題あ
That should do a decent number on that health bar, at least a little bit. Should anyway.
I'd be surprised if it doesn't just take her out.
Nope, not nearly enough.
Oh Jesus.
That resistance buff that she's got is massive. It's kind of ridiculous.
Ah, I did not realize that was a resistance buff.
Alright. Oh, well, we win. And that's game.
Tarask?
Tarask.
愛を知らない悲し
Punch Trask.
Hit the Tarask.
Love the Tarask.
There we go.
We started out with Yeet Tarask, then we got Punch Tarask, and
Now
then
we-
a couple years from now we'll be getting Cook Tarask.
Hook Tarask.
Cook the Tarask. Oh, my paradise suit.
Well done. It's good for your health to get outside and exercise now and then.
Why do you have to be so boring and right all the time, Karna? Who do you think you are? My dad? My mom?
That's strange. I'm certain I have no connection to Ganesha, yet I find myself inexorably compelled to help you. Was I a fan of Ganesha back when I was alive?
Sure, let's go with that.
So we've won? We've won, right? And since we now hold your life in our hands, you're going to cooperate with us whether you like it or not.
This freaking guy again. You know, the way you just expect I'm gonna go along with whatever you say reminds me of a teacher I had back in middle school. I really hate the guy. Maybe your fat ass needs a bit of divine retribution for abusing your authority.
Listen, I just want to talk. Do you hear what we have to say?
Well, I do feel a bit of kinship with you, seeing as you look pretty much the only other average Joe around here. So I guess I can at least hear you out, especially since it doesn't look like Carter's going to be giving up anytime soon. Besides, if I'm being honest, I fully get what's going on around here anyway. So what does he want to talk about? World's been bleached clean, tree of emptiness, and lost belts? I get the gist. Sounds like things are even rougher for you guys than I thought. You... Actually, the most important part of your operation? What gives? I thought you were a fellow average Joe turncoat. Senpai may be only ranked as a standard class master, but his accomplishment easily meets or exceeds those of an A-rank mage. I'd be happy to elaborate, but afraid that would require me to at least write a 500-page report. And it would unfortunately be a little difficult to do that right now. You don't seem like you could tell a joke with a straight face. Are you serious? Yeah,
Serious? Okay.
Yeah, I will acknowledge that in a second step. You're the vessel of a divine spirit now? I mean, you're also anything but ordinary.
Stupid music.
Every time! Oh, come on, Karen. You gotta at least pretend to back me up here. Never mind. Just say something like she's never ordinary. Her unusual weight and waistline clearly set her apart. And the worst part is, you wouldn't even be saying it to be mean.
How did you know? Perhaps you truly were worthy to be chosen by Ganesha. No, wait. Something tells me that can't possibly be the case. All that aside, I do have to wonder, why were you summoned to this Lost Belt?
How was I summoned? I didn't even ask myself the same question. I think it was kind of like, you have been chosen kind of deal. Like the Ganesha inside me showed up and said something like, save the world, hero of the digital realm. If the adversity is great strength, even someone like you could do this. Now is the time for you to spread your wings, and since the request from my mother, not doing so is not an option. Be warned, if you fail to save the world, you'll never return to the way you were. So yeah, Ganesha seems to be a pretty nice guy, and he's definitely an Indian one that at heart. Oh, and don't bother asking me about my class. I'm not quite sure what it is either. I think that might be because Ganesha found me through some sort of devilish intermediary or something. Oh no.
Don't worry about it.
Why do I suddenly hear a certain TV show's music in my ears? Yeah, I don't know what to make of this extra class either. But we can worry about that later. At any rate, it seems pretty clear that the counterforce summoned her here automatically. So it seems like a safe bet that she'll end up joining our side. Like Ganesha choose me of all people. I'm just an unemployed shut-in with excess padding. If it were up to me, I'd be demanding an explanation from him or requesting you choose someone else immediately. I guess that's kind of moot now that I'm Ganesha.
I think it comes down to compatibility. You may be an ordinary person, but you are an ordinary person with some exceptional qualities. I may not remember why I know that, but I do know that for certain.
Here you go saying things like that with a straight face again.
That goes for you too, Chobo. I'm not good with words, so I can't explain it well, but you have many exceptional qualities. You may not be a great warrior or a powerful mage, but you are a great master.
Come on, you're gonna make me blush. Anywho, even if I don't like it, I figure now that I'm here, there must be something I'm meant to do. So I took a look around and happened upon that town, but it couldn't have been more idyllic. Fucking, this is what world peace looks like, peaceful. Even a shunner like me couldn't help but admire the fields of flowers that find this world beautiful. So I figured there was nothing for me to do after all, and Ganesha was up and sent me to the right place at the wrong time, something. So I came back here and been enjoying my lazy, neat life ever since. The end. Well, if you got a problem with that, bring it on.
Tell me, how long ago were you summoned? When did you pay the town a visit? Hello? Is this mic on? Da Vinci, can you check the mic real fast?
Sorry, I was dealing with a DM. I'd say about 5 days ago on both accounts. Okay, so according to what Ash had told us, that we'd be back during the first Yuga. Yuga.
Krita.
Were the buildings broken back then?
No, it's a perfectly neat little town. Not so much a breakout of place. The destruction we saw must have happened over the last 5 days, thanks to the Kami. It was a little incredibly careless of me, Kanisha. If you had always stayed there, you would have had every chance to fulfill your divine duties and save the townspeople. And what do you expect? There wasn't a single thing wrong with the place back then. What's done is done. There's no point in dwelling on the past. Right now, we need to worry about tomorrow. We just lost a friend of ours a short while ago. Missed her terribly, but I'll never forget how determined she was to keep fighting. So I feel like we need to carry on her stead and keep moving. Which is why we need your help. Can you please join us, Ganesha? I didn't think gods were real before, now I am one. It's still hard to believe this is happening. Part of me is convinced it's all just a big mistake. But it does look like I've got a quest to save the world now. And if there's a branch where a town gets attacked open now, I guess I just can't expect much. Fine, I'll go with you, alright? Just don't expect to be much help in battle.
You could have saved us a lot of time if you just agreed to help us from the beginning.
Thank you, Ganesha. I'm so glad you'll be helping us. Okay, guys, it's gonna be dark soon. We don't want to be out and about in an unfamiliar land at night. So I say we go back to the cave and make camp there until morning. We'll head out again the first time daybreak. Make sure you all get plenty of rest.
All right. There's our 3 taken care of, I'm pretty sure. Yep. All right. I know I've been doing this a lot tonight, but I need to be right back again. Apologies.
Do you need to enjoy more bananas?
No. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick ad break while this is going on. So again, be right back, guys.
Ale hydrate.
All right, now let's go.
Alright, while he's gone, I will be right back real quickly. I'm just gonna go down there and make a response to Seb's thing and pick him right back.
Why, hello, chat. What'd you say?
I said, Seb, what the fuck is your luck?
Seb's luck.
Look in co-op discussion.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at it. I want to know what Kingdom Hearts boy's luck is. Like, what the fuck?
Jim, did you not see my tutorial role? Actually, no, his is better.
Yeah, no, he got 5 different gold servants.
All of them 5-star or 4 stars. That's the funny thing. I have to wonder though, those are all, I'm pretty sure all of those are tutorial pulls, so it's like, which one was the tutorial servant? Welcome back, White.
Hang on. Yeah, hydrate. Anyway.
I'll hydrate.
Hail
Sorry.
the hydrates.
And for those wondering what the frick that was about, I needed to go for a little. I need to go for a little bit there. Anyway.
You're good.
Anyway. Oh, AP. Well, we got apples for that. We're fine.
I would say AP.
All right.
Oh, that was a scary first Hassan.
Yeah, it is. Let's bring him along. Why not?
Dokuda.
MP5, level 100, 10, 10, 10, probably 2k food as well.
More than
It
likely.
has to be at least 2k food.
And yeah, sure. Let's bring Bray as well. Why not?
Great.
Bring Bray along. Where's
Gray has
my?
become one of my favorite farmers to use.
She's effective with it, honestly.
And she's helped me gather up a lot of embers.
All right, let's go. Section 4. Kali Yuga, the Demon of the End. Wow.
This.
What? Oh, wait, what? Oh.
Oh, that's.
Oh, that's a problem. This is ridiculous! Even I can tell something's off about me. Thinking back on it, I haven't been my usual spiteful self ever since Jinshi Wong captured me. If I just planted a bomb or three when I snuck into the shadow portal and blown everyone to Kingdom Come, I could have spent the rest of my time on a leisurely tour on the Lost Belts. I swear, what was I thinking? No, I shouldn't dwell on it. No capable woman would let what she did or didn't do in the past stop her in the present. I'm just going to focus on business here. Once I get to my grove, I'll get my old spite back in no time flat. I'll just check in on the tree and its growth now and then, and devote most of my time to seeing what sort of wonderful creatures I can find in this boring old world. Still, Carly, huh? This works out nicely for me. You're just the sort of thing that makes abandoning a Lost Belt worthwhile. China's regime was so ridiculously strict and thorough about getting rid of anything it didn't like that there was nothing left for me to have fun with. But here I can get back to my roots and really mess with everything humans love. God, they just adore that sort of thing, don't they? This world is very hospitable to human life, but also extremely strict about virtue and goodness. If a human strays from the path even once, their God's law won't even let them reincarnate anymore. Ah, that's what I love about boring, single-minded gods. They're as cruel and merciless as they come. Still, I don't much care for this world's god, or that shitty monk and his creepy-ass grin. I heard that, harlot! I don't care! So I think I can spare some time to mess with some of them while I take care of business. Maybe I'll take one of those blissfully ignorant humans and just smile from their face just a tiny little bit. Why, I bet that's exactly what some people actually want. And walking the line between supply and demand is an important service in its own right.
I throw this woman off a bridge yet?
I forgot. I almost forgot how her voice was for a second.
Well, just think, why 2 years from now you're gonna be doing a lot of that voice.
Oh, you know it.
See? Yeah, that's easy. So you're always on the lookout for the Sita person, huh? Yes, I am. If you happen to see her anywhere, please let me go right away. You don't know what she looks like? Not a problem. If you ever see the greatest woman in the world, so beautiful and graceful within her strength that can move mountains, and think she would be perfect as my wife, you'll know you found Sita.
Incoming Snarky remark, 3, 2, 1.
I see. I like the whole hot Shota King, you think?
Say the line. Say the line.
I got thrown off by the first bit, okay? Hang on a second. Hot Shota King! Damn it, Ganesha!
It gets even better, it gets even better.
I know, I'm reading further. Oh god. Okay. I still like the whole hot Shota King thing you've got going on, but knowing you've already got a canon ship makes it a lot harder to fantasize about you. I'm sure some people would win the whole bag, but somehow I'm not really into it. I guess I'll just have to keep my fantasies to a minimum and enjoy gazing at some hot Rama flesh in real life. Oh my god. It's like you take the limiters off of Osa, and this is what came out.
Oh my god.
Not sure what you're talking about. Some kind of protective spell? In that case, I'll gladly accept it. On a different subject. You guys are outside now, right? What's it look like? Something has seemed off to me since this morning. No, not just off, already strange.
Oh, you mean the fact that everything is dead?
Pretty sure there was a lot more water around here.
And flowers too, but mostly water.
True, the change in environment is even more drastic than I was expecting. The ground is dry and barren, the wind is much stronger and foul-smelling, the plants are all dead or dying. Everything's so different from yesterday. Maybe this area drains really easily, so all the sunlight got yesterday dried it up. I think it was that bright out, who could say with a strange land like this? And then there's this weather. It's not sunny or cloudy or rainy. If anything, it's kind of sandy.
Whatever the cause, this area is clearly much more arid than it was yesterday. The ground is so dry it's begun to crack, exposing the minerals and ore in the ground.
Not much environmental change in a single day, huh? There's gotta be something particular to this hospital that's responsible for this. We'll just have to ask Ash or someone when we get around to it. So, looking around here, does it make anyone else uncomfortable, or is it just me? It's like so much in the way of life now. Compared to yesterday, it feels like everything's cold and hot and inhospitable, not outright hostile.
I agree. The air is even drier today. It feels as though there is something else in the world now. Something besides the mysterious presence that has been holding us back since we first came here. Who likes presents? I like presents. Presents are nice. It may not be likely to harm us outright, but it could still interfere with our ability to fight. I recommend you keep that in mind, Master.
What do you mean?
I mean that there is a difference between fighting in a blessed paradise and fighting in a cursed place of death. Though, of course, a true warrior remains strong regardless of their environment.
I'll be careful, thanks.
Good. It seems we now have a good chance to put that to the test. This pack of wild oh, sorry. Say the
Thanks, Nightwing! I love it!
Say the line! Say the
Say no. Oh, god damn it. It's a pack of wild beasts. We can't have them following us to town. Let's take care of them now. Maybe colder and drier today, but that also means we won't have to worry about our footing since there isn't any more mud. Nash, always look on the bright side here, light. And then you see Ganesha kind of following behind in a distance, going, God. I'm already enjoying this last film. God damn it.
Alright, we have less MP Jin now from looks of it. Actually, no. I think it's decrease MP amount gained. Yeah, it's just that. Gotcha.
Ah, yes, just, casually wipe the whole wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on par with Gray, though. She's got a surprising amount of wave clear.
Hi.
What? That was 146k crit. Something falls like dice. That's probably because I have my dice tray in front of me and messing around with dice. I showed ass. God damn it.
To answer your question, Seb, do you need single target or do you need AoE?
Both are good for their own reasons. I think Hits would be probably more for would be a bit more good for last stand or challenge quest stuff. Drake would be good just for general farming purposes.
In that case, I'd probably go with Heads. Because he's asking probably for the co-op thing he's doing.
I'm not surprised. Alright. I'm not gonna.
どこだ
There we go.
どこだ
It's got him anyway.
人間に生きる世界なし
Alright.
Yeah, and can't take personal bias.
Yeah, if anything, I would say Kets, just because boss battles.
Well, we're in a land of death. Let's bring the expert here.
Look like you.
Yeah, sure, I'll bring Drake. Why not?
Speaking of Drake,
Why the heck not?
guess I am a little heavier today than I was yesterday. Though it might be just because I ate too much breakfast. Something wrong?
What happened to the clip? No, I was just thinking how strange it is to be fighting alongside you, or rather Ganesha.
Working fine for me. You mean in a bad way?
Not at all. I feel oddly elevated. I'm very proud, no, happy for you.
Gotcha.
Though it's also oddly painful that I don't know why I feel that way. Part of me is compelled to talk to you, and part of me is compelled to stay away. I'm certain I know you somehow, but for some reason I can't remember anything specific. Is something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. I was just thinking the same thing. I know Ganesha wasn't etiquette about this sort of thing. Even if it was all a big mistake, I'm still a divine vessel now. Not gonna try to weasel out of this. Besides, to make things harder for Karna. Yeah, okay. Really wish I could tell him the truth, but I won't. Besides, I feel pretty lucky just getting to fight on the same team as him. Oh, by the way, since I was technically just in here to save the world, let me just make sure I got this straight. You said we basically got 3 enemies to deal with in this lost build, right? One of them's the Tree of Emptiness. If we cut this down, the whole lost build goes. Another's the King, sort of the being at the center of this lost build. Keeps Tree of Emptiness safe. Probably. And last is the Cryptor, master who wants the lost build to grow bigger instead of go away.
There's also the Foreign God's Disciple, but otherwise, yeah. Yeah, that's about right.
The most important thing's the Tree of Emptiness, then. That is way off in the distance there, right? Besides, we basically just gotta cut it down, we're done, right? So, why aren't we heading there now? Every Lost Bow King we faced so far has been incredibly powerful. If we get close to the Tree of Emptiness, sure we'll run into the one here, too. We may be able to see the tree from here, but it's far too dangerous to approach now. We need to at least gather more information first. Oh, yeah, I was forgot. What do you make of that giant floating cube out there? Local we talked to called it God's Skybolt. Oh, that. I was wondering what its deal was too, but I got absolutely nothing. I don't have better for it other than mysterious. It just feels like impossibly out of my reach. Kind of like an uncanny analysis skill in my skill tree.
It's not just that boulder. We still know next to nothing about this entire world.
Yeah, it's definitely not her fault, but I don't feel great about having actually our source of information either. Still need to talk to all sorts of people, find out anything we can on the King, the Tree of Emptiness, and God's Sky Boulder. That's the reason why it's worth taking the time to defend that town. Makes sense, Gordy?
Why are you looking at me? I didn't say a word. But if you're going to do this, then make sure you do it well. There will be no secret hero nonsense on my watch. I want you to put these people so far in your debt, they'll be begging you to let them help.
It's not like you to be so forthcoming, Gordy. It's a good look for... Huh?
Wait, these readings. Hey, you guys should be in viewing distance of the town by now, right? Can you see anything? You can't. So please stop right here, Master.
I can see smoke coming from that direction. The attack must have already begun. Alright, let's go!
Let's hurry. Ooh.
Oh no.
This is terrible. No way. This place was just so nice a few days ago. How did this happen?
The first wave must have already gotten here. I thought we had gotten here as soon as we could, but it seems I was careless yet again. You guys came back, huh?
I'm glad you two are both okay. Yeah, we are, although...
Damn Ulu, today's Kali Yuga. We're not done by a long shot.
You know, there's gonna be even more Kali today. So when you jump out of your skin and surprise they can show up at any time. Remember you said there were more Kali during Kali. This is far more than I expected.
They're clearly going to keep destroying more of the town. How are you going to survive their attack?
Our house was destroyed too. Well, we gotta do something. Maybe we'll ask someone to let us stay in their house or hide in the rubble or just run away. I have to keep praying and do the best we can.
GM, this is you.
You again. What are you doing here?
Mayor, we saw that your town has already suffered significant damage. Couldn't you and the other townspeople work together and let us help you fight off the Kali?
Don't be ridiculous. How many times do I have to tell you? This is all our God's will. It is a trial He set before us. There's no need for us to fight. As long as we pray with sincerity, the sacred beast will save us. Having blasphemers with no intention of praying like you a lot around will leave a stain on this entire town. You can't be here. You shouldn't be here, and we don't want you here. Now go away and leave us alone.
Which god are you talking about?
What do you mean, which god? God is God. There's only been one God ever since He made this world during the first Yuga long ago.
There it is again. He believes what he says with absolute conviction. At first I thought this town just happened to practice monotheism. Does this mean there really is only a single god in this world? Could they be this Lost Belts? Oh boy.
Ah, they're back. I'll just have to forget about the heretics for now. Oh God, I pray to you now with the greatest sincerity. I've fulfilled my duties as this town's mayor. Please, lend me your protection.
Oh, Auntie!
Shoot,
Wait, hang on, where is it? Oh, yep, shit. Asha, I finally managed to convince my husband to let you in. Come on, you can pray in our house this time.
thanks. Come on, Nasha.
I had to carry him on.
Oh.
Please be careful, Asha. You know, make sure you're well hidden. Sorry your house is destroyed, but I can at least help you rebuild it when this is over. In fact, I can even have the animals in the nearby woods come and help with a single call to action. Thanks, that's okay. Estino's almost about to cycle over. You guys all be careful too. Things are worse here than I thought. This looks like one of those post-nuclear apocalypse RPGs or something. It's even worse because I know what it was supposed to look like.
Unfortunately, if we don't fight back now, the destruction will only get worse. Look, they're here.
So those are the Kali. Yep, they definitely look like Indian demons. Not that I have any idea what Indian demons look like.
Are you sure you're an Indian god?
More of them now than there were yesterday. Count on you, child of Pravati. Well, don't do that. Heading off wild beasts is one thing. I have fighting actual demon. You get right down to it, I'm just a shunning who's never had a job in her life. There's no way I can live up to expectations like that.
It may have been brief, but I did fight you myself. I have a fair idea of what you're capable of. Your power is perfectly adequate. You should be more than capable of fighting alongside us. Ram and I will both be trusting you to watch our backs.
Well, technically, I guess I am Ganesha now. And I know old Elephant Head's gonna be upset with me if I don't show off his godly side at least a little bit. It's okay. Fine. I honestly don't have a choice, so I'll do it. If anybody thinks they get past this wall of divinely protected lab, they're welcome to try. I'm glad you're willing to help. Both the Ordnex hardware and software are working fine. For this fight, I'll be prioritizing long-term stability over explosive output. We're up against a lot of enemies, Master, but let's do our best to push them back.
Alright, you got it.
Okay, I think I found my favorite Lost Spell character.
Lost Belt to-do list. 1. Chop a tree. 2. Defeat the king. 3. Stop the cryptor or their servant. And finally, 4. Deal with a fox woman who has more clothing than a magical girl has transformations.
More or less.
And that's not even counting her, the new forms that she's gotten.
I'll just do this first.
Oh yeah. 5. Breakdown into depression, trauma, the destruction of the civilization / timeline. You know, all in a day's work, right?
6. Rinse, repeat. Just another day in fate. More or less.
At this point, it's just par for the course.
And dead. We need a new therapist in Neo Chaldea. We really do.
Our last therapist isn't exactly healthy.
Looks at Asclepius.
I was more thinking of a certain nun, because she is a therapist.
Oh right, that is. She is, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah, it's like our therapists in Chaldea aren't exactly
Up to code.
Not gonna lie, I would
No,
trust
they're not.
Robin as my therapist before I would trust her.
You know what? Fair enough. That's fair. That's entirely fair.
I would trust Spartacus as a therapist more than I would trust that woman. There's so many of them, it's exhausting. Can I take a break now? Why do I have all these exclusivity stores if I'm not gonna use them? Okay, I'll hang in there a little longer.
Now those creatures have shown up too. Things are about to get even busier for us.
So the sacred beasts are now here as well. We'll just have to try to get them to focus on the colony as much as possible. If any of them come after us, we'll have no choice but to take them out. Right, the ordnance staff was holding steady, even after a prolonged operation. I can keep going, no problem. Alright, here comes the next wave of enemies, Master.
Alright, round 2. Fight!
Fight! I think I've actually got a good farming setup for this particular section of embers. Talking about no fresh, I got Assassinamia in P2. Oh, that's a whole nother can of worms. Can you imagine the therapist that would have to deal with the entire Emilia family
family bloodline.
I'm a doctor of medicine, not a doctor of the mind. Now, if you excuse me, Nightingale and I have to prep for surgery.
On who?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
You just see them. You just see Nightingale wheel Ibaraki on like strapped to a stretcher. I'm perfectly fine. You can let me go.
They've got her like in those like coats you see like crazy people like you like in straight jacket.
Oh no, don't worry. That they're actually doing a thing for me, so don't worry about it. I have to hold her down to get her to be healthy food sometime, you know. Alright, now Ibaraki, this is a banana. I'm gonna feed it to you now, okay?
There you go. Good amount of blood on there. Hopefully this does a decent chunk of damage. Don't go Miniad!
Mango, Miniando.
Oh, Ibaraki's just strapped up the bed with the extra attack.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do that. Like, just like have Nightingale forget that someone's strapped to the bed.
It's
like,
Rama.
Just like just like a generic Roman soldier.
No, I would honestly, I would have laughed if it was just Rama, because it would have been easy considering it would have been fine considering that they're both the same VA.
Hey, you know the whole debacle of America.
Yeah.
Like one of those really rare animations you see, like with shooting casters NP animation,
Or Sama Cats.
or Cha-Cha falling down.
That's another sub coming. Nobody told me this was gonna be a horror mode when you can't even grind out any XP. They're coming in waves, so we'll be able to keep them at bay. It doesn't feel like we've been fighting them forever.
Given how the townspeople aren't any less fearful now, I'm afraid I'm forced to come to an unfortunate conclusion. I suspect the colony attack is going to continue for the entire rest of the day. Just what I didn't want to hear. I do apologize. Much as I have a reputation for beating around the bush, nothing could be further from the truth. When certain truths need to be spoken, I have no compunctions about doing so right away, regardless of how unpleasant they may be to hear. No matter. Our task is to continue to fight until our enemies are vanquished. That means we must fight on until dusk or dawn, and so be it. That's not to say you should keep fighting with us, Master. Please, take some rest whenever you must. It'd be bad for all of us if you were to collapse from exhaustion.
I've actually been slacking off more than you think. Excellent posturing, Master. Very inspirational. So this battle has become a true war of attrition. If other things continue like this, I think we'll be able to prevent any further casualties. Oh, just so you know, Rana, that's exactly the thing you absolutely do not say, unless you want things to suddenly get much, much worse. I knew it.
Hi, hero.
Naisha can feel something coming.
Oh boy.
Is that... could it be? The new agent of the god I've been hearing rumors about.
That's...
So the other Naisha. It's a new servant we haven't seen before. Be careful, guys.
It's who I think it is. Have fun, White.
The hell? I knew I sensed an unfamiliar divine aura around here, but I sure as hell wasn't expecting this! What is this bullshit? This is pissing me the hell off. What do you think you're doing here, Karna? Hello, Ashvataman.
Know each other?
That's right. His name is Ashwataman. I fought for the Kauravas alongside this brave warrior during the Kurukshetra War. He is the son of Drona, my mentor, under whom we both trained. He is both my friend and right now I'm your enemy, Karna!
What do you mean? Did you just say he was your friend, Karna?
I spoke the truth. But now he and I are both servants bound to obey our master's orders. If our masters are at odds with one another, then of course that makes us enemies. Yeah, exactly! It's so damn obvious, it's maddening! I couldn't agree more, damn it!
Is he always this angry? It looks like he's gonna be as tough to communicate with as Karna, though for really different reasons. Bros and punks are the hardest kind of people for Shuddens to deal with.
That's just how he is. Though I do think he used to be a little more, composed. By the way, Ashwataman, who is your master now? Ha! Just hearing you ask that pisses me off. We'll figure that out soon enough.
We already ran into a master candidate here. Maybe he's Pepperoncino's servant too?
I'm not so sure. Strictly speaking, we still have no evidence that the other Neja we met is Pepperoncino's servant either.
Never mind who his master is for now. We just got more than enough to digest just by having a new servant to deal with. What else is he showing? Now there's not much question as to why he's here.
That also pisses me off. Of course, it's obvious. I can't let you run around doing whatever the hell you want.
Now we've got to fight another servant too? Oi, Karna, don't you dare go easy on him just because you know him.
I know. Do you really think I would?
Sorry about that. I think Gory just forgot who he is talking to.
I'm getting bored just sitting around doing nothing, so I think I'll speak up too. I know Karna already told you who Ashwataman is, but his perspective is colored by having known him in life. Since I only know him from the Mahabharata, let me give you one more piece of objective information about how Ashwataman is depicted here. Let me do a double take on that. Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, he's said to be just as strong as Karna, if not stronger, so be careful.
You mean this guy's actually on Karna's level?
I won't deny that. I was never the strongest warrior, even back when I was studying under Drona.
We should not even consider going easy on him. We'll need to keep on up our guard at all times.
Right.
Exactly. Be extra careful when facing him, guys.
Got it.
This is clearly no time to be worried about conserving energy. Swing to your next over to anti-servant combat mode. Armored shielder mash kill. Ready to engage in full powered combat. Waiting your orders, Master.
Oh, I'm mad as hell. Now that I'm a servant, anger's the only thing I feel. My whole spirit origin is built on it. So even though I haven't fought you since we last crossed swords while training under my old man, Karna, I feel no nostalgia, no joy. The only thing I have, the only thing I feel, the only thing I am now is rage!
Meanwhile, in Canada, I sense a disturbance in the fiery force, and it's pissing me off.
Was that a Liz I saw?
That was an NP5 Liz.
That doesn't surprise me.
That had some grails on it.
Rage, I thought your name was... Don't even finish that sentence!
お前が望むならそれに応えるべきだ。おっと、そういうご命令か。
望んで切り裂かります。
疑似人格停止。第2段階限定解除を開始。
抜病。
Ah, I should have boosted some more. I should give her some damage boost before I did that. Nah, that's my fault.
bright side, if you get the right cards, you should be able to sweep the wave in the next turn.
Potentially.
Man, they really do not like Merlin.
No!
Jesus.
To be fair, does anyone like Merlin?
Um,
Aside from... no, Bradamante does not count.
I would say people who like to loop.
問題ない
He's not even like a... He's a buster support.
People in NA 2 years from now.
It's more Quinn Sky's thing these days.
Shakespeare. Merlin likes Merlin.
Shut up, Merlin.
Merlin likes Merlin. Shut up, Merlin.
ああ承知した神々の王の慈悲を知る絶滅とはこの一つしインドラよ刮目しろやり尽くせバサビーシャティ是非もなし
There's gotta be at least one other Merlin fan out there.
That's not named Bradamante.
Oh wait, no. If the comic dub I watched earlier is any indication, technically Gastori is a fan of him.
Lost Belt doesn't count.
Bruh.
Not proper human history doesn't count.
Wow.
問題ない
高森の秘宝お見せします
承知した
やります
よし来た
せい
I'm thinking of why is it always worse? It's not strong.
ああ
やります
遅いよし来たよし
Not just doing the first turn really is making this take longer than it probably should have.
食らってやろうぜ問題
お願い
頭上注意
There he is.
細かすぎると思う
Got right now.
やります
I'll be right back. I gotta
切り
use
裂
that.
き切り裂きます
Alright, you do that.
Okay.
よし来た
せいせい遠間なら
こいつだ
Yeah, story likes Merlin. Oh, it was Copos, that doesn't count.
I mean, that's basically what you just did.
More or less.
Actually, I'm kind of curious.
おっとそういうご命令か
Holy shit! Like, I just did the thing that who was it that mentioned? Nyan mentioned. Apparently, I've been following you since October 28th, 2020.
Long story 8 seconds ago. Pardon? My feed says you just apparently just followed, but I don't think that's typically correct. Been around here longer than that. I'm pretty sure.
細かすぎる もう承知した神々の王の慈悲を
Alright, he's got divinity, so this should hit him like a truck.
この一つインドライ
I think he has divinity. No, yeah, it definitely did. Yep, no, that confirmed, I think. Yep.
Yes, he is. I just clicked on his thing.
大勝利だな
Oh my gosh, Ad said Die Shorty.
Dad.
He's been hanging out with Okito too much. I see. Dean told myself that you and Karn are studying the same master.
Yeah? infuriates me to admit it, but you're not bad yourself, brat! In fact, you kind of remind me of someone. Madashirama? Krishna?
See why you think that. Those two are avatars of Vishnu, just as I am. I am Rama, king of Kasala.
Ha! That's so? Well, let me give you a little tip. In this lost belt, I wouldn't go around bragging about being the avatar of a god. You might not like what happens.
What do you mean by...
Hold it! Something else is heading your way. It's not reading like a Kali or a sacred beast. Wait, this is a servants. Not just one, there are several! And I think Jim just walked away too. Oh, god dang it!
No, I'm here.
Oh, good.
Oh, there he is.
Looks like you're out of time, Miss Fatman.
Recommendation. Cease this game. It is meaningless.
I concur. There's no point to your game. Or is it us being here? I swear, I don't even know why we came along at all. Oh boy.
Oh, dear.
I want to keep going, but I know we're like almost, or we're almost at time.
We got like 10 minutes.
I really want us to get past.
Realistically,
I want us to get past the first bit of this, this bit, but I don't think we have
one, we're
time.
at a good stopping point, and two, it kind of makes sense to stop there on a bit of a cliffhanger, because that was a really good cliffhanger.
It was, admittedly, yeah. But yeah, we'll come back to this later. We'll come back to the story another time, but for now, I guess since we still got some time left to work with, there are some hunting quests we can go just do real fast to kind of kill some time. Night, Nightwing.
Good night,
Good later,
there.
Nightwing.
Wait, what was that math equation for that Karna? Math divided by QP squared? Or no, square root of servant X.
Okay, we're not ending quite yet. I'm just gonna do this to kind of kill a bit of time. But actually, you know what? We could just go ahead and end it. Call a little early, I guess. I guess there's no really reason to kind of prolong anything. Kung Fu is probably gonna end in a few minutes anyway, so there's no point really reading him right now.
H-Drive hasn't been on for very long.
Yeah, he usually starts pretty late.
Can't say I've had H-Drive, it's been a while. Oh, no,
Yeah.
never mind.
Oh, it hasn't been that long.
Okay, 4 days. Okay, to be fair.
You know what? I see somebody. Let's go say hi to them. I don't know who's. I think we've hit this person at some point, but I'm gonna go ahead and say hi to them. Why not? All right. Thank you guys for joining us for tonight. With our beginning of the Lost Belt 4. Tune in Saturday. Saturday, I believe, is when we're gonna go ahead and do more of this. I'll see you guys Thursday for more Pokemon and all that, and I hope to see you guys later. And peace out.
Good night,
Enjoy the raid, everybody.
Good night, everybody.